Hello, welcome to Monday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen. And it's an IPL themed one, and understandably so, because retention day, and of course, that one is a lot of talking points, including Hardik Pandya back to Mumbai Indians, RCB getting Cameron Green, Shubman Gill, of course, being the new captain of Gujarat Titans, and a lot more to talk about in this Monday Night Live. It will probably be elongated show tonight because understandably we're going to not talk about just one or two or three or four teams or all 10 teams, what they've done with regards to their business pre-auction, which is of course the 19th of December. Speaking of numbers, this is the 18th episode of Monday Night Live, so give us a little bit of love and like this video right here, right now. My name's Avni Shagdi. As you can see, decked up in the RCB red, we have a CSK fan and a beloved Nikhil Popa in yellow. And Akshay Kumar Swami has decided to adorn the Empire colours today, wearing a smashing pink to start his week. Akshay, you're smiling, but you must be smiling with Cameron Green as well.
This is in protest. I know this is in protest.
This is not in protest. Unfortunately, only protest I can make right now is to the Bangalore traffic. And this is coming from a person who doesn't even drive. मैं metro में आके फिर भी Bangalore traffic में फंस गया. That's the only protest I'm going to do. But yeah, it's been a fantastic weekend. And yeah, IPL is IPL, man, at the end of the day. Like, who can even think that just a week ago India's lost the finals? Already we all are sort of, gushing over the fact that such big moves have happened and all of that. But yeah, excited to talk about so many things that have happened. And yeah, super pumped right now.
Yeah, it's that public eye watch that the BCCI do every time India go out of an ICC tournament. We see the IPL just come and take precedence. And why not? Because we love our country so much and we love the IPL. So there's lots to talk about. And I want to get Nikhil's thoughts about it because I did pick his mind yesterday. And if you guys did watch the watch along, check that out. It was an IPL bonus. Somesh, Gurkirat had their thoughts about some of the big deals in the day. But Nikhil, I love that old school retro kit of CSK that you're wearing right now. And perhaps CSK are the best placed team heading into that auction.
Well, there are quite a few teams, and just to clear, I have 4 jerseys. And all 4, I like them. There will always be some bias here and there somewhere down the line, but it won't come in terms of cricket opinion. So CSK, yes, very good, very well placed because the roles are clear. So you know who will replace where. I still feel, and it's time to order a Gujarat Titans jersey. Reasons are better left alone because they need only 4. So I made 11s. I'm as hopeless as I can be. So I have made 11s for every side already. कि किसको क्या किधर चाहिए. So in that order, I did not see a single dash in Gujarat Titans. In every single team, I had at least one spot ki idhar to. I can't think of anyone. But Gujarat already have people, but they need very good backups also. So that's the second team. So that is the second team that I back. Rajasthan Royals bhi hai. The perennial, I wouldn't say good guys, but people who are able to extract the best out of their sides. So वहाँ पे भी they've got Avesh Khan, which I think is a fair call to go. And चौथा दिल थाम के रखो RCB भी है थोड़ा थोड़ा because who doesn't want to see Kohli do well? So again,
wait, did I hear RCB? Did I hear RCB?
I last year I was wearing enough RCB jerseys in the watch along. So please,
I agree with Nick's, and he's given his. He's given his valid thoughts and allegiances as well. We'll, of course, talk about each team, like I said, but we'll also entertain comments to keep them coming through. And like this particular video, because it's been a flying start so far already in the 5 minutes, 42 if you're watching. Please give it some like because IPL chat is always fun. And we want to, of course, build on our community that we already have. Dhruv Mitra with the first comment of the day. Hello, all. Last week was the only one topic. Was that the Hardik coming to Mumbai Indians? So finally, it is clear today by both franchisees. But the big mark, or question mark, he says, who will do captaincy from Mumbai, Rohit or Hardik? We discussed that yesterday. I'll get the boys' thoughts about all things Mumbai when we come to Mumbai because it's easy to get carried away with the off-the-cuff sort of show, but we will have some sort of structure. Let me just take a few comments, lads, before I get you guys in because there's so many and we always want to keep everyone kind of enthralled. RCB keeps going green initiative once every year. Santosh being absolutely comical as ever, praying for Cameron Green to come good for RCB more than one game. I'll tell you what, Santosh is a big Australian fan, so he must be loving and chomped to bits with this particular deal that RCB have done. Vidit Tamele, always a good man to see in the comments as well. Very knowledgeable. I'm pretty sure he's waiting for his prizes in the MNL. He goes on to say, lads, the same rules force teams to part ways with players with They invested in the first place. Pandya brothers, Shardul, CSK, Pooran, SRH. That's also a good talking point, which we'll touch upon 100%. Some love for Nikhil, which is good to see from Nischal. Nischal, I'll tell you what, there's more of Nikhil. You can guarantee that. So please subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. And Nix, I didn't know you were biased to CSK. He's not biased, man. Everyone has, fanship and fandom. So let him have his say. And he's already given reasoning to why he supports those particular teams. And I know I'm just rumbling on here in the comments, but it's only fair to make them feel welcome, lads. Mail Singani, echo the thoughts. And this is why we love this platform.
Wait, is he talking about thoughts, or is one of our voices?
I think he's talking about vibes, I'm guessing.
All right, I hope so.
I hope it's not an audio problem.
Exactly, yeah.
For sure. And Doodle Hacks with Vasant, who's always been a chatty man in the comments, saying, guys, will you also speak about auction strategy for each team too? I want you guys to please. Another humble request, unlike other channels, our channel is unique. So please talk about all teams equally. Absolutely. And we'll break it down, whether it takes 10 minutes or 15 minutes per team. There'll be so many talking points, and we already have some graphics prepared as well. So in there, Alaru, I'll be honest and tell you that I do hate Mumbai. Look, normally I'll play diplomatic and sit in the fence and be like, no. I do hate them. I've always hated them. Don't ask me why. It's a Bombay-Bangalore rivalry that I have with my school friends as well. So it goes back more than that. And IPL has only just made it so tribal over the years. So look, keep your comments coming through. And I can't take everyone right now because then Nikhil and Akshay will kind of be bored to death. But we'll, of course, start in a very orderly fashion, I would say. So don't mind me if I've missed out some of the guys in the comments, guys. I know there is, of course, Sanjay Papiguri, Chirag, Singhal, and, of course, Ankar Biswas, who will, of course, tend to in a bit. Right, with that done and dusted, I'll just show you the overview of what we have, of course, heading into that IPL 2024 auction. We're still, of course, like I said, days away from the auction, but this just gives you a glimpse of who has what, how many players do they require in terms of available slots, overseas slots, total money spent, and so on and so forth. So we'll start in that particular order, where we start with GT, go on to SRH, KKR. So RCB, MI, and LSG fans, you'll have to wait a while. But don't go anywhere. We'll, of course, break it down because, like one of the comments said, we want to be equal and fair play. So we'll start with GT. And, of course, Nikhil was reiterating that we should all kind of buy a GT jersey right now. I don't know if you guys feel on the same boat as that, but he has, of course, a point, because if you look at the retained players, they have maximum stability, I feel. I know you look at certain release players which hit your eye. Alzari Joseph is biggest question mark maybe, because he was actually really, really good for them as well. But let's get the boys' thoughts about it. And I'll start with Nikhil. Nikhil, essentially, heading into that auction, Vikram Solanki, of course, goes on and says Hardik has a desire to go to Mumbai. He let him go. Automatically, he's saying Gill is a born leader. Do you agree with that, with the captaincy of Shubman Gill? Because that's the biggest talking point, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and see, we discussed this in the watch along as well, and we've discussed this timeless times before, that giving the captaincy to overseas guy is always tricky in the IPL, because especially if they're injury prone. Now, we know Rashid has had a bad back carrying a lot of teams over, and Kane Williamson, I just hope there is no Nazman Hussain Shanto throw coming his way in the IPL, or no diving at the fence, so that he's fit, because those are the first two names that come to your mind. Okay, if you're thinking, okay, if not Gill, who? So I think that injury concern possibly doesn't help them. And I think Gill, I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. This, I don't know why, I feel is the most opportune time for Shubman Gill to grow into a legacy. In terms of, he takes Gujarat from here to any heights. This is his time to write a great story for himself. A very young guy, very early into the leadership role. But I trust Nehraji to ease him into it, because we saw how he helped Hardik also, in terms of the bowling plans and all of that. And we have to remember, there are two strategic timeouts. Everything is there. The support stuff is always there for the players. So I think the pairing of Nehraji and Gill might just help him ease into the role, because otherwise I didn't see too many other obvious options. But Gill is definitely here to stay, and hopefully this can just, I don't want to go down that route, but I hope Gill goes the Virat way in terms of just batting on another level from now on.
I was just coming to that next, because even if you look at their career paths and their trajectory, Akshay, Kohli and Gill. I think Kohli became full-time RCB captain in 2013, 2014 it was. So pretty much 5 years, 6 years after his debut. And similar with Gill, I think he debuted in 2018 for KKR. So it's that right time, like Nikhil alludes to. But were you kind of already certain when Hardik kind of walked away and automatically someone had to assume captaincy? Did you think Shubman Gill was your fourth front runner? Because many people are saying, look, they have experience throughout that squad, be it David Miller or Kane Williamson, who was, of course, injured, didn't play with them last year, or be it even someone as maverick as Rashid. Do you think Gill is the obvious choice because he's young and you need an Indian and he just fits the bill in terms of being the best poster boy that Indian cricket has to offer for the next 10, 12 years?
Agree with most of the points you mentioned, but I still don't think he was an obvious choice. He's definitely young. He's most likely going to be GT's, poster boy. GT's sort of going to build the entire brand around him and all of that. So there, I feel they've gotten it right from a business POV, because Gill is here to stay with the Gujarat Titans. So that way it's a safe bet. And also him being an Indian player, of course, gives them that extra cushion. There's always the risk with overseas players. But I still feel that, they probably could have given this season at least to Kane Williamson, because this was going to be the last season, of the auction cycle. And after that, in 2025, once the mega auction would have happened, then they could have sort of, thought of this better and planned it much better. Rashid Khan was never really going to be an option for me personally, because I feel tactically he's probably one of the most inept captains I've come across. And absolutely no offense to him. He's a fantastic cricketer. He's probably the best T20 cricketer right now, and I have no shame in admitting that. But yeah, as a captain, I don't think he inspires confidence to me, because what I saw in the SA20 was just absolute shambles. So I don't think Rashid was an option. Probably Miller, but that's still a slightly left field choice. Kane Williamson also suits, the kind of mold that GT is, the kind of, sort of setup that they have. But I feel the other downside to that would have been, Gill, Sudarshan, Williamson, that top three sort of becomes very monotonous in terms of how they play. They all sort of try to play in a similar way. They have a similar tempo. No one really sort of starts aggressively. So that could have been a bone of contention for them. But yeah, not a straightforward choice. Maybe something they also had to do, last minute probably. I don't think even they've had enough time to process. Yeah, Nikhil bhai.
See, I think the one thing that might have also gone, again, this is just presumption here, that it was very important for them to tell that we are not looking at a 1-year captain or a 2-year captain. Especially now with Hardik going. When you say Gill is the captain, see, the fans also want to know that, because the moment you say Kane Williamson, it may not always be there. So, and you don't want to get to enough stage for a franchise. Okay, we have one guy as a captain, a mega auction, maybe we don't know what will happen. But when you tell Gill is the captain, it automatically just assures everyone that he is our long-term prospect. So that is, again, maybe optics-wise also much better and easier to retain him also for the next year. Okay, तुमने captain बना के next year if Kane is not available and you release him, so then it doesn't again look bad. Oh, you have had two captains in 3 years. Vesa.
Okay. Guys, lots of comments coming through. 1 second, Akshay, I'll just get back to you, because essentially, quick ones which I'll just take away and, of course, address. What is in, shouldn't they release Hardik to the auction pool? Look, Hardik wanted to kind of go to Mumbai in particular. That's why he made that deal happen. Apparently, sources say that a week after the IPL final is when Hardik expressed a desire to the Gujarat Titans team management and subsequently the owners that he wanted to go to Mumbai in specific. So that obviously was done because the trade window happens from the 1 month after the final, which was May 26th this year. So it literally was June 26th till now, and it goes on before the auction. So lots of small little FAQs, and don't worry, we'll of course pay to them. And the impact player thing happens, it will be there for 2024 as well. Guys, we will in the IPL, we'll have Little Man Kids at all chances, the whiskey brand. The latter, man. I hope it's the form. I keep thinking every year we're going to bloody win the IPL. I'll tell you my thoughts about Cameron Green later on in the show, and Akshay will pour his heart out too. So just hang around, wrong-footed, in-swinging menace. I think you're missing the R, or maybe it's a pun on the name. Maybe a Wong. So I don't know. Good to see you. Pranav Anand, good to see you as well. Green went from blue to red, RGB primary color. I mean, honestly.
Nicely done.
Man, think about it. He should be named Cameron Rainbow by the looks of things, because he's represented Perth Scorchers, orange there, Australia, yellow, there's blue, red, there's green when he plays for the RCB IPL thing. So you might see him pretty much every color. You never know. Also, Jagmeet Singh Oberoi, good friend of the show. We've not even started with the Hardik discussion. I think we'll loop him into the Mumbai Indians part of things and how he fits into not just as an all-rounder, but as a captain as well. So wait on that. We're going back in the order, boys, of course, people just joining us in the overview of the pre-auction IPL 2024, as you can see. So we're starting off with GT. We're still there. And I'll go back to Nikhil right now about what do they need with regards to that 11 that you were just indicating earlier. Who is your Gujarat Titans 11 and where are the loopholes in that squad, sir?
Yeah, so I think something that will definitely be there to take care of is, as Akshay pointed out, the top three and their intent. Because I noted Sai, Gill, and Kane only as my top three. You could have Wade there, you could have Saha there. It's completely your call. But I think these three have to stay in the top four. You have Shankar and Miller to follow. And there is that one spot there which they have tried with Abhinav Manohar at times. They've played people basis matchup. You have Rahul Tewatia as well. So that is a spot that I'm happy to experiment with in terms of the impact player. So that is 6 of them done: Sai, Gill, Kane, Shankar, Miller, Tewatia. And then you have Rashid Khan, Mohammad Shami, Mohit Sharma, and Josh Little, Noor Ahmed, whichever you want to play, depending on the surface. So the obvious problem is the intent guy at the top. Who do you want? The role that Saha did, and you need a backup keeper for Saha. Because if Saha is the only guy doing the keeping job there, so that is where it will get tricky for you. They released Urbil Patel, who just scored a 41 ball 100 today, and they also released KS Bharat. So they could potentially buy one of them back. We don't know, but I'm sure they have an option in their mind which they can go forward to, because their 4 overseas I think are a lock in Kane, David Miller, Rashid Khan. Then जो चौथा है, it most often should be between Little, Noor Ahmed, or if they get a Alzari Joseph replacement. So I think it is fairly settled because they have most things covered. Left arm spinner Sai Kishore Ka, who I think this season should get a lot of games. You have Rashid Khan done, Mohit Sharma, Mohammad Shami, decent options, and Josh Little, Noor Ahmed as well. So
what are the kind of names that they're looking for next? Because many people in the comments are saying Rachin or Daryl, because obviously what you just said right now, they don't have those vacancies open unless they're looking for bench strength, and we know what they did with Shanaka and the likes of them. Can you second guess what are the names on their radar, Gujarat Titans?
Well, I wouldn't mind Omarzai or Daryl Mitchell, somebody like that here. Again, it just suits the side much better if you have Mohammad Shami and Omarzai bowling from the taking care of the power play. It allows them to use Mohit Sharma, Josh Little. I mean, last year Josh Little did well in the middle overs. It is absolutely crazy to think that they pulled it off. But again, we don't know whether it will always happen. But I think if they want to have that impetus with Vijay Shankar, I think Daryl Mitchell could just be the guy. Okay, he could
Phil
just
Salt,
be the guy.
Ayush Malpani says.
Phil Salt, see, the problem even with Daryl Mitchell, I feel, is they'll have to let go of one overseas then. Which will be that overseas? They need the bowling backup. Because, see, Miller, Kane, and Rashid are not going anywhere. I don't think Kane can be dropped because you need somebody to hold the innings together. And he at 3 then makes a perfect slot there. So that's the one question that they have to possibly look at. And yeah, they could go for some like Shah Rukh Khan. They have a lot of money, to be very, very honest. 38 is plenty of money to just take 4 or 5 people. This may you need one overseas bowler, one overseas keeper, one Indian keeper, and a number 4. So, ठीक है, 4-5 player ही चाहिए आपको ऐसे तो.
Yeah, Satyendra Aluru saying GT need a good Indian wicketkeeper who's an opener. I can think of Prabhsimran, but I think he's been retained by the Kings.
Yeah, retained. Retained.
And that kind of bloke, essentially, someone of his ilk. Mayur, meanwhile, saying Avnish, I need you to end this live 100%. What a goal that is for sure. And Shub going on to say, waiting for Akshay and Avnish's reaction and RCB taking green for 17.5 crores. Don't worry, we'll come to that. 100 will come to that. We'll just end this GT chat by asking Akshay a few things. First, about the Hardik Pandya replacement, right? How important was he in that cog of the wheel? They did make of course, they won the final in their first fucking year, and then they made the bloody final again. So they've done something right. Hardik, how much they'll miss him as a player, bro? Or do you think they can please cover that? It's not a problem.
I feel they will miss him a lot more than I initially thought they would. And I sort of disagree with Nikhil Bhai. I don't think they have a settled enough 11, because even in the 11 Nikhil Bhai mentioned, they have no bowling options in their top 6. They'll have to go with 5, like even the 11 mentioned, that Nikhil Bhai mentioned, Rahul Tewatia is the 6th bowling option. I'm not considering Vijay Shankar because he hasn't bowled much. Even in the Smart, he wasn't he hasn't been bowling much. Rahul Tewatia as your 6th bowling option, I don't think is how you would want to structure 11. It's worked for them.
The only point there was कि मैंने यहाँ पे 6 रखा because they anyways use the impact player. So you'll anyways have one more guy coming in as a bowler, so they'll have 7 bowling options then, and then Tewatia becomes the 7th option. That is my logic.
Okay, fair. But this is basis the assumption that the impact player rule will come in, and even then, to begin with, I don't think Kane Williamson would be a lock. Like for me, I still think they would probably start with Gill, Saha, and then go Sudarshan, Shankar, Miller, Manohar, Tewatia, Rashid, Noor / Little, Mohammad, Shami, and Mohit Sharma. This is how I feel they would structure. Pretty much in line with what Nikhil Bhai said, barring the Williamson bit, I have Saha in because there's no other keeper. And that is the most staggering bit for me. I have absolutely no clue why did they let go of Urvil Patel. KS Bharat फिर भी समझ आता है because he, again, Sudarshan, Gill, Williamson, KS Bharat, again, very similar types that way. Like all are predominantly anchor type batters if you had to classify them a certain way. So I understand KS Bharat ko chhodna. But Urvil Patel makes absolutely no sense because he was literally the kind of player they will be looking for in the auction now. And he's a domestic option, so that would have been even better for them. So I have no clue. One option that I feel they can sort of spend big bucks on would be Josh Inglis. Again, keeping bhi kar leta hai, middle order option bhi hai, and he is a floater. Nikhil Bhai might not agree with that. He still thinks of him primarily. Then I guess it was Gurkirat. Either one of you felt that Josh Inglis is more of a top order batter. But I feel
I said that Delhi should take English at 4-5.
So, you did say that.
Yeah. So
but I mean, excellent points. Akshay, like I actually kind of side with you because I would have Saha over Kane, even though Kane sometimes does give you all those other things that maybe a Saha doesn't give you. If you guys know, you know. Also, keep your comments coming through, and we'll appreciate comments which will add to the chat that we're having currently. I really, really hope that people respect that in the comments. I say that with the utmost respect because I love comments and I'd love to take them in, but I can't, of course, take this in right now, for example, because we're not going to be talking about RCB for a while longer. So please bear with us, Noodle Hacks with Vasant. And of course, Jayesh, we'll discuss MI when we come to MI. I promise you that. Mohammad Sufyan, same thing applies to RCB. Just a little bit of patience. It's going to be a long show. It's Monday. Put your feet up and watch this because there's lots of banter. There's going to be lots of emotion when we talk about CSK, for example, with Nikhil. So don't worry about that. Right, we'll just go back to that graphic and end the GT chat. We're just looking at not just their squad, because that's, of course, available on cricket.com if you guys want to see all of these depictions. But more importantly, this telling graphic, which will keep popping up in this live. And it goes to show that they have 17 players. The number of overseas players currently that they have are 6. And they have 2 available slots for overseas players. Of course, 8 in total. But let's see how they remain. I mean, how they really have a chance in this auction with all that money as well. And let me just confirm, 38.15 is true. It's not the 28 crores going around. 38.15 is the purse remaining for GT. Right, let's talk about the men in orange then with SRH, because they fall right under GT with regards to the most money going into this auction, 34 crores. And they have 3 overseas slots because they let go of Harry Brook. What are they doing? Sunrisers Hyderabad, are you all sunsetters Hyderabad and looking down upon certain careers? Or you guys got to go back for Harry Brook? Honestly, let me know in the comments. Akshay, what are your thoughts? Because SRH, I know they had Dan Vittori right now, so it's a new regime for them. And Kavya Maran will be looking at some cool players to buy. But more than cool, they need the 2016 sort of heroics from people like, I don't know, whatever they're going to get.
Definitely, I mean, SRH, not to sort of, they haven't come up with too many surprising retentions or releases that way. Fairly stable, fairly on expected lines. Harry Brook, yeah, I mean, of course, given the amount of money they paid, better sense prevailed. I don't think they needed that because they already have the likes of Klaassen, Markram and Phillips in their order. I would have loved to see Vettori release him, but Bhai Phillips so hai abhi SRH ke paas. So theek hai. Again, once again, like I said, better since prevail because their top order is fairly settled. They've got Abhishek, they've got Mayank Agarwal, they've got Rahul Tripathi, then they've got the 3 overseas players, of which 2 of them also keep, so they've got that covered as well. And then they've got someone like Marco Janssen. Probably the one player that they could have held on to was Adil Rashid, given their lack of spin options or lack of primary spin options. Of course, they've got Washi, they've traded in Shahbaz, they've held on to Mayank Markande. But yeah, more or less settled 11. I mean, not settled 11, sorry, a settled squad. They have decent options. But yeah, this was pretty much the case even last year, but they sort of showed, gave us a 101 on how not to handle a squad last year. So I expect an encore, to be honest, because it's Dan Vettori, and yeah, as an RCB fan, I don't think I have to talk much about Dan Vettori's stint with RCB. But I'm happy with the names they have. As an SRH fan, I don't think I'd be too upset. Karthik Tyagi personally is someone I really rate highly, so I'm happy that they've released him. This is again coming from certain bias, but they could have probably held on to him. But he also wasn't backed enough. He wasn't given the right, sort of role. And it didn't help that he was also injured. And they're filled with Indian pacers, from Natarajan to Umran to Bhuvi. I'm forgetting one more name, I'm pretty sure. And then there's, of course, Fazalak Faruqi and Marco Janssen when it comes to the overseas set of things. They've held on to Nitish Reddy. That's another name I'm really, really, really looking forward to. So, yeah, all in all, fairly obvious options, fairly obvious retentions, fairly obvious releases. Nothing too out of the blue.
I mean, SRH generally, they give me a vibe that they have a lot of good young Indian talent coming through. You talk about Umran Malik, you talk about Abhishek Sharma, you talk about even as far as Rahul Tripathi, who still has a lot to do in his career. Nix, are you excited with what they've done so far? Because you look at the retained list compared to the released list, does it give you conviction if you were an SRH fan watching this? Because you look at the stadium that they play at as well and how they've done in the last couple of years, factoring all of this, how do you rate SRH going into that auction? How do you rate their squad currently? And are there many chinks in their armor?
Well, now you're very scared to rate SRH going into the auction because we all have our hands burnt that way. But I agree with Akshay. In terms of the 11, they look very settled. In terms of the people that they have, the roles, the boxes are ticked. That Agarwal, Abhishek, lefty-righty combination done, Rahul Tripathi, Intel Merchant done, Makram, Klassen, checklist done, your good middle order options. फिर वहाँ पे you could play Phillips and Janssen also if you're going for an all-Indian pace attack. So that's an option for you to have. The brittle part for me is the part about Shahbaz Ahmed / Abdul Samad, Washington Sundar, and Bhuri. Because if these three are the ones, if they don't come good, then I'm not sure how much T. Natarajan and Malik can do. Which is why I found the release of Karthik Tyagi very surprising, because I thought he could be someone that they could look at for a long time. So that is the only brittle part. But I think with Brook, what they've done is they identified that it was due to Brook that they were making so many changes. So they've said, okay, इसके वजह से सबको change करो, इसको निकाल देते. They still have enough people on board. They have enough budget as well to make this bowling lineup better. Because I think in terms of starting, probably Markram, Klassen, and Janssen start for sure. But the fourth option is still very open for them. So that's where I feel, I don't know, but this could be the auction where Shah Rukh Khan goes for a plenty. Because there are many sides who need that number 6, number 7 guy. And here also, if Shahbaz Ahmed is not going to bat at 7, you will need somebody else. Sundar se bhi utna tumko confidence nahi aata. So I think if the bowling can take care of itself, the batting will come together. But you will need people to just really click together because something didn't happen last year.
And one more thing, they still have sort of very short-term reserves when it comes to their spin department, something which has been the case throughout this auction cycle. 2022 mein the lead spinner was Shreyas Gopal. This year they had Adil Rashid, who didn't play as many games as possible. Mayank Markanday also was like bizarrely, it's not like he didn't perform well. He did more than decently in the games that he did play, but even then he was sort of dropped unceremoniously. So I'm hoping that Vettori ke saath maybe Markanday gets a longer run and he sort of comes in as a lead spinner. I feel he has it in him to sort of play a lead spinner now. He's shown enough potential there. So yeah, if that's the case, then maybe they won't be too short on spin reserves. But if they continue to sort of doubt Markanday's abilities, then once again that'll be a problem for them.
SRH, honestly, it makes me think about how you guys will go about your business in the auction. We love to see Kavya Maran every time for her reactions purely. When she gets a player, she's pumped, she's celebrating. She wears her heart on her sleeve, man. And let's be fair, we, of course, have so much of meme material of her. It's not right, but that's how life works right now, unfortunately. But SRH, they can, of course, surprise a few, and they have the makings of a right squad. By the way, I've just kind of charted out a really nice message which is, of course, going to be flickering on your screens right now. If you're liking our content, please contribute in the live chat right now and let us know your thoughts about the IPL retentions. We want to know exactly what's exciting you the most, even though we're 4-5 months away from the tournament. And that's what the IPL does, because it makes grown men like me and Akshay cry. Sometimes it, of course, it makes us argue, banter. Nikhil is more reserved because he's seen so much of highs and lows of cricket. He's just seen every script, and he's, of course, his part-time job is to be Nostradamus, so he knows everything's which is going to happen with IPL. But like, share, and comment, please, and it would mean a lot to us because we put our heart and soul into this channel. I don't know why we've not touched 40K, 50K, or 100K alone, but please do follow us on social media and, of course, other things as well. We'll be taking the comments. Sorry if we've parked y'all for a bit. We'll just allude to the SRH comments, of course, boys, because Satanya Alaru, again, being pretty chatty today. We appreciate that. Travis Head is the best fit for SRH, he goes on to say. I don't know if you guys feel about that. I don't think. I mean, if they go there fair, but it'll be a lot of money. How Shahbaz, Sundar, and Abhishek will play together. Markram and Phyllis can bowl as well. They have good options, Knicks, which you just touched upon as well. And the biggest surprise, Sanjay, going on to say, is what they do that much in Farooqi. They could easily get better options. Do you agree quickly, Akshay, with this?
I mean, Farooqi isn't the worst of options out there. He's a decent option, and given that he costs them 50 lakhs, it's a value for money buy. I don't think it's costing them anything apart from the fact that it's costing them an overseas slot, of course. But he ke bhai kafi paisa hai, and they have they're probably one of the only teams that can have an all-out Indian pace bowling attack, and that's a great plus to have. You know, that sort of gives them the luxury to play an overseas spinner, to go for an extra overseas batter. There's so many other permutations and combinations that open up for them. So I don't think it's a surprise as such. Because they also let go of Tyagi. They wanted to hold on to one pace option. Letting go of everything and putting all your eggs in the Bhuvi and Natarajan basket and Umran basket, of course, would have been too risky. So yeah, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, when it comes to them, the releases of Harry Brook and, like you said, Karthik Tyagi have definitely taken center stage. But you can understand to certain degrees why they let players go. Speaking of Harry Brook, our dear producer has gone on to say, mark my words, Harry Brook is not playing this IPL. BCCI will have that reply on his talks on IPL. Interesting shout from Vikas indeed. Ayush going on to say, SRH should go for SRK and Vanindu. Which also is food for thought. Uncle Biswas saying Abdul Samad is Riyan Parag of SRH. And let's see if Hasaranga actually goes to SRH, because I'll tell you what, they will like to have him. Yeah.
Definitely. Sorry to cut you there. Like, one thing, Nikhil Bhai, Avnish, you guys can also sort of chip in. This is the 11 I'm thinking broadly right now based on the players they have. Abhishek, Mayank, Rahul, Makram, Klaasen, Abdul Samad, Mako Janssen, Washi, then Shahbaz or Umran based on conditions, and Bhuvi and Natarajan. So Bhuvi and Natarajan will be the first two picks in terms of pace options. Umran, Shahbaz based on conditions, because Mako Janssen's already there. Then they've got Washi and maybe a bit of Aiden Makram if required. So I don't know where if someone like a Shahrukh comes in, that means Abdul Samad doesn't get a spot once again. If they want to back Abdul Samad, then I don't know how will Shahrukh fit into this jigsaw puzzle. Like, I don't see why would they need Shahrukh. They're probably one of the few teams who don't need to go after Shahrukh. And even with Hasranga, I'm just trying to see how would they fit
because
Hasranga.
I generally think they'll splash the cash on one great foreign player, whether that's a top order batter, replace someone like Brook, whether that's someone like a Hasranga. They will splash the cash on one massive person, I feel, overseas pro.
One of these short first 11 starters will have to be benched, and that would again create complications. I mean, I don't know. I guess if anything, SRH have a bigger problem right now. They already have options. Now they have to understand how to manage it. वो usage का जो निखिल भाई हमेशा कहते रहते हैं. And by the way, we've hit a century, the first time on MNL. If I'm not wrong, there we go. Congratulations.
Brilliant.
Super
It's insane. Happy. I mean, I was just going to say that. 100 crores for the auction, but 105 people was watching. Honestly, please like this.
Exactly. Honestly, guys. Thank you so much.
100%. And we talk about work satisfaction, job satisfaction. It's like numbers like this. We'd like to see onwards and upwards. It's going 108. Let's see if we can get 200 people watching. All you 100 people, not just like this content, but just tell people that cricket.com right here, right now are doing a fantastic discussion in the IPL. So brilliant stuff, boys. And keep the comments coming through as well. And Akshay and Nix, I think we've covered SRH pretty well, but we really, of course, have to cater to the other teams. We're not done with RCB. SVK307. Please, if you're new, subscribe right now. We'll, of course, adhere to your questions. And we'll speak in Hindi, Kannada. Don't worry. If you think I'm just being too fancy with my Hindi, I'll speak, of course, my English, I'll speak in Hindi. We'll cater to all your needs. And guys, convert the views to likes indeed.
Yeah, please. 100%. Thank you so much, Vasant. Guys, please do that. It would do a world of good to us. And thank you so much to all the 100+ people watching. You've made our day. You've truly made our day. Thank you so much.
100%. And it'll be interesting to see how Vittori will be at that auction table with a lot of other backroom stuff that he'd probably get, and Kavya Maran over there as well. No Glenn Phillips in the 11 quickly that you named?
Nope, because they have Klaasen and Makramut start above Phillips, which is why I don't know. Like, if Shahrukh comes in, then Phillips and Abdul Samad, both of them have to be benched. So I don't know if Shahrukh comes in, he's coming in for big bucks, which means they will play him. Because like Simon Dool said, most teams usually play their most expensive 11s and not their best 11s. And SRH are one team that are guilty of doing that. We saw that even last season. So that's why I would like, as an SRH fan, I hope they don't go for Shahrukh, to put it simply.
Okay. We're going to go on to CSK in just a bit. And I say just a bit because the first team we're going to do before CSK and after these two that we've done is, you guessed it, KKR sitting third in terms of the purse remaining. And we're going to go into that order. So bear with us. If you guys are just joining us, it's a shout out again to all of you guys, lovely people watching and this is the order we're going to discuss teams going forward in the show. GT, SRH, done and dusted, but there's still 8 more teams. And Avnish will sing a Hindi song if we hit 100 likes. Let's go, guys. I think with all the weddings that I've been attending, I know a few lyrics, but I'll keep that for the end of the show, along with my Ganacho appreciation goal and all of that. So KKR it is, boys. And the inevitable saying, Nikhil Popat, for Kolkata Knight Riders is, wait for it, because I'm actually copying Anirudh Suresh right now, because he went on to say KKR are righting the wrongs, but perhaps they could have released Russel Narine. What are your first thoughts to that massive headline on cricket.com's website?
I think the pitch and Gambhir have played massive part there, because if it was otherwise, then you would have expected Sunil to be let go of. But the pitch is back to what it was, which means they'll have 4 spinners at least in Sunil, Varun, Suyash, and of course the right-arm proper off spinner in Nitish Rana, who bowled sometimes the end overs also. So the bowling options will not go. To be honest, if you think of their 11 looks pretty much predictable in terms of Gurbaz, Venkatesh, Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Russel Narine, Suyash Sharma, Rinku Singh, Rinku Singh, Suyash Sharma, Varun Chakravarti, Harshit Rana. It's like 10 players are locked. तुमको एक और player चाहिए, and that could be anyone. It could be Vaibhav, it could be Anukul. But I still feel they need one guy up top, but I don't know where they will fit that person in, because the personnel are same for KKR, but it's the bowling unit that has to really come through, because at home they might still do fine with Varun Narine and doing the job, but overseas just relying on Harshit and Vaibhav. Again, it's a very, very tricky slide to be in. Of course, they've released Lord. They've released a lot of other options in Kulwant, in Loki, in Umesh, in Southie. All those who bowl with the new ball. So maybe they'll look out for a few more options there. They also released David Vizay, who was a backup to Russell. So very keen to see who they go for. I'm hearing that they'll probably go for Stark, or they might even go for somebody like a Spencer Johnson if they want to go down that route. But एक तो left arm seamer आ रहा है, क्योंकि there are other that the 2 spots are locked, Russell and Narine, and they need at least 1 opener. So Gurbaz Roy में से एक lock है, so it leaves room for only 1 guy. Now I feel they need a bowler, but I don't know how they'll find that. I don't know. The bowling just lacks a lot of teeth at this point of time.
When you look at that graphic again, Akshay, immediately your eyes hit the release players and you understand why they're releasing those players, because they were shit last season. Let's call it for what it is. Apologies. I hope I still want my IPL accreditation, but it was. I mean, you look at Shardul, Loki, Umesh, Tim Saudi, they were bleeding runs for fun in IPL 2023, and you understand that. Nick's also mentioned a good point where Gambhir is back in charge, so he's not going to take that nonsense. He'll get full reins, more than LST that you presume, because this is a former captain coming back to KKR. So it's Korbo, Lorbo, Jeetbo in the auction before the competition starts for KKR. My question to you is, who do they require in terms of personnel? Are you looking for a top order batter more, beg your pardon, or a fierce bowler who can spearhead that attack and be like, you know what, if oppositions are coming to the Eden Gardens, which has become a cricket wicket, we can still, of course, rattle you with pace. So are you thinking fast bowler? Are you thinking top order batter or left field? Talk to me.
They actually need both. It's not an either or situation. Just to be clear, what's their purse right now? How much do they have remaining? I don't think I caught the number.
Yeah,
They have,
KKR
they have 32 crores. Okay,
Yeah.
that's enough. That's enough in the purse. So yeah, going back to the discussion in terms of playing 11s right now, at least based on the squad they have right now. Again, Nikhil bhai, Avnish, both of you can chip in. Gurbaz, Roy, Nitish, Shreyas, Venkatesh. I'm slotting Venkatesh Iyer in the middle order because that's where he really did well for them last year as well. And I feel that is the right position for him because Madhya Pradesh ke liye bhi wo wahi pe khelta hai. So it makes sense. So that's 3 down Venkatesh Iyer, 4 down Rinku, 5 down Russell, 6 down Narine, 7 down Harshit Rana, 8 down Varun, and 9 down Suyash. Again, these options are assuming the Eden Gardens pitch plays like it did during the World Cup. I don't know if it was a World Cup only thing because the games were happening in October. That's basically a time frame that usually doesn't see a lot of games in India. So that's one thing that we need to understand. So I'll sort of hold on to my comments on how the venue itself would play. So if it's going to be a batter-friendly surface, if it's going to have the true bounce that we've seen, at the Eden Gardens for the last 10 years or so, then they really, really need to stock up their pace reserves. And again, the 11 I mentioned, by the way, has no keeping option, which means they also need to go for a keeper right now. Jason Roy clearly will not be able to slot in, so they have to go for a keeping option. KS Bharat is one option that comes to my mind. I feel he is, if it's going to be the low surface that we saw during the World Cup, then KS Bharat is actually going to be a good fit. He knows how to play spin well. I really think he's one of the better players of spin. In fact, the way he used to come down the track, that's one of my hallmarks of KS Bharat during his RCB days 3 years ago. Very, very, very quick, off his feet. So that's something he could be a good fit if that's how the surface is going to play. He's also one of those cool, calm, composed players. So, around your Shreyas, Nitish, all these sort of aggressive players, so to say, he could be a nice glue. So I feel he could be one fit. Another option, actually, I don't have another option. I thought bolte aa jayega. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But
Yeah.
that's an absolute good points that you've explained holistically what KKR require. And of course, you can read more on cricket.com. Just want to take some comments and read them right now. Who will captain KKR? Shreyas Rana. Who will support? Look, Shreyas is been with Gambhir close quarters even in Delhi Capital. So hopefully it is Shreyas who continues. And I think it should be Shreyas. KKR will go for English Singh, Sanjay Bharti Sarvanan. Good to see you. And the rest of the 150 people watching an MNL.
Yes.
Honest to God, there's 62 likes.
waiting.
Please make it 100
Please.
likes, please. I will do a lot
Avnish
of
is going to
things.
sing, guys. Please make sure
I'm
we'll
gonna
try
sing.
our best. Yeah.
For
Please
sure.
do that.
Next is going to be talking about CSK. Akshay is going to be talking about RCB very soon, and all of that and much more in just a bit. So look, there's nothing else going on Monday night. That's why we choose this particular time slot where you guys just enjoy all our content after a week which has gone by 100%. So we're going to entertain comments every particular time. I might not feature all of them, but keep them coming through and I'll take them as much as possible. Madhushankar to KKR, I don't know, man. There might be a bidding war for Madhushankar, who's impressed in the World Cup. Who's KKR's death bowler? They're looking for one, Ayush. They're looking for one. And Rahul Kumar, thank you so much. Really, really, really appreciate it. Gurkirat Gill has a couple of commitments, but we will bring him in 100% at some point in time. Yeah, Akshay.
Yeah, sorry to cut you there. Ashutosh Bajpai also has come up with an interesting option. Udval Patel, he's a top order keeper bat, but I don't think KKR need that sort of a batter right now. KS Bharat would probably fit inside the setup, in the current batch of players they have right now a lot better. In terms of bowling options, I feel Gerald Coetzee could be one option they can look at because they would want their pacer to also be able to bat a bit. Varun doesn't bat, Suyash doesn't bat. Having one more pacer who can't bat at all would sort of have them too long a tail to deal with. So because Sunil Narine will probably be at number 8, and I don't think Sunil Narine at number 8 inspires a lot of confidence once again. Opening mein wo kiya tha, but number 8 pe jab wo aata hai when the field is spread, I don't think. And now to he's found out, people know that short ball dalo, high pace dalo, khatam hai baat. So maybe Gerald Coetzee at number 8 could be a nice option to have. But apart from that, Alzari Joseph is another name that comes to my mind. I really like his batting as well. I don't know why people don't talk about it enough. People consider him to be an out-and-out bowler, but he knows how to bat. He's as good as Rabada to sort of set some context. So yeah, Joseph could also be another option.
Yeah, Nick's mentioned it at his start of the analysis of the KKR piece, Gambhir and pitches. And that's a super two important points because they have the spin weapons there. We know what Varun Chakravarti can do. Even the Wiley also need Narine. Many people are saying he's washed. He is indefinitely. And they have the spin basher. When Shreyas is back, where will Venki and Nitesh bat? Shreyas is definitely going to lock in that position one and make it his for sure. Akhil Nair on the side note saying Pandya has benefited CDC the most. Let me know if it's benefited cricket.com or someone like Shubman Gill or someone like everything, because it's a triple effect. It's going to be a trickle effect. Let me correct my words over there. KKR Kotsi, yeah, Akshay just shouted out this as well, Pranay Yadav. And bhai, RCB ka team aa raha hai. Raghavendra sir. Where are you from? If you're from Bangalore, of course.
Looking at his face, he seems like a true blue Bangalorean. Avnish going great with those stereotypes. But
and is MI done? No, MI is also not done. We'll of course talk about CSK next. But Akshay, you want to say something?
Last thing. I completely agree with Sangeeta Joshi. I don't think they have the second best Indian batting core. I think they have the best Indian batting core right now. Both the Iyers, Nitish Sharma, Rinku Singh. That's as good a domestic batting setup that you can get. As good as it can get. I'm like genuinely impressed with what Gambhir has been able to do in such a short span of time. Like just eliminate all the clutter, just eliminate all the fat, all the flap that was unnecessary. This is I would actually say this is the best domestic batting core based on current form, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. And Satyendra Aluru saying when GG back in KKR, we can see slow pitches in Kolkata. And with GG, let's be honest, he's a good man manager. I know tactically sometimes he's been caught out, and we've analyzed certain games of LSG last year as well. But I think
only certain games, or just one game, just one game.
And it's things like this, like Venkatesh Iyer, in terms of his role clarity, I think that will be, of course, seen more with Gambhir over there. And Dhruv Mitra, behave. I told you, all the questions about RCB will come later. 100%, we will take all your questions about all the other teams. Let me just go back to that main graphic and tell you the order, because we're done with KKR and we're going to move to CSK right now. And as you can see, RCB and MI follow in that particular order. So memorize it, study it, all you 155 people watching, beautiful, lovely people. Yeah. That's the order of the show. So look, 3 teams done, 7 left, CSK next. And it's only apt for me to, of course, ask the man in yellow what he thinks, because THALA's playing MSD again. Fan cam Zindabad.
Yeah, MS is back. It is good that even after so much of watching of cricket, there are still some players who can bring the emotion out of you. I'm honestly not sure how much he'll play. After watching him, I don't know, hobble down those stairs in Dehradun or where it is in terms of options, but for him, but they released Ben Stokes and Dwayne Pretorius, 2 all-rounders gone, so though definitely wahan pe aa rahe hai, and Raidu is also gone. So in terms of lineup, this is possibly one of the most settled lineups that you would have in this competition. Again, not surprisingly as well, they've been very clear with their roles. They've backed the entire core. The problem was with the seam option, which is why you see Magala released, Jamieson released, Akash Singh is also out, which is, I mean, he did well in the one game. I'm sure Akshay remembers it the most. But in terms of the 11, I think the biggest question for me is just the form of 2 people. Because Conway Gaikwad definitely start. You have Rahane. Then the first question in Moeen Ali, कि भाई उनका आप क्या करने वाले हो? And then there is a spot for Raidu. That who are you going to have there? I would not mind a Shah Rukh Khan, because I think that would just be perfect fit. Then you can rotate Shivam, Jadeja, and MS as per that. So that is deep enough batting lineup with Deepak Chahar to follow. Thikshana का form concern है, but I'm sure the 2 all-rounders जो pick होंगे, one will definitely be playing. So him with Pathirana is a good cycle or setup complete. Leg spinner एक ही है, but अभी Chennai have always operated without one for I don't know how many years now. Chawla was the last one that they had. Solanki to hai, but apart from him. So in terms of setup, 2 people, 2 very 2 bowlers ka form important hai, Moeen Ali and Thikshana, and they need 1 all-rounder. I don't know who. I have a lot of names, but I want to hear from you guys. के बाद में फिर मैं मेरा नाम लेता हूँ.
Akshay, I want to ask you so many things about CSK, but I just want to have my say in it really quickly. I feel that honestly the best placed team heading into that auction, because they have a decent amount of money in their purse, about 30 odd crores. They don't have to tick off too many boxes. They had a lot of lovely stories from last year. Even if you talk about Rahane, you talk about Patirana, you talk about, of course, generally MS just doing his bit as a finisher as well. I think that's super important. And not to forget how he kept, because that stumping in that final, it just stands tall in my memories of IPL finals, and how he just dislodged the bales of Shubman Gill that day was brilliant. But coming back to what they'd done, right, going into that auction, yet again, like CSK have done for the longest bloody time, maximum stability, the core being intact. And I should say those two factors are fundamentals, you would say, but it has to be said that not many other franchisees get that right. You see a lot of franchisees getting into an auction with a little bit of a panic, with a little bit of angst going into that auction table. But CSK, 100%, they have gone into this particular auction with every fan backing them 100%. They do need an Indian middle order batter, and maybe you could say a couple of world-class fast bowlers. But what are you thinking with regards to all their desired targets? Do you think they can comfortably get it because they have a huge purse, or do you think people will simply fuck around with them like how they fuck around with RCB in the auction? Sorry for my words, but once in a while it's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, again, it's one of those 11s that wouldn't inspire a lot of confidence, at least with me. I mean, I'm saying inspire a lot of confidence a bit too much today. That wouldn't really, like, had this been RCB squad, I would have been like, nahi bhai, ye to nahi hai. But वो एक नाम काफी, वो MS धोनी एक नाम काफी है. उसके साथ, like, you can have Akshay Kumar Swamy opening and Avnish Hegde at number 11, and even then I'd be like, boss.
Bro, I'm trying to think of a franchise in the world. I can only think of RCB. Every other franchise in the world with Dhoni at the helm will win the IPL. I'm hypothetically saying, like, if Dhoni and the Perth Scorchers 11, they're winning it. Islamabad, they're winning it.
Again, गलत example दे रहे हो आप. Melbourne Renegades ऐसा कुछ बोलो.
Maybe like a shit team in the CPL as well. Dhoni effect is insane. Nikhil is privy to that because he's a CSK fan for the longest time. But like you said, bro, like, you can name great 10 players, but Dhoni, how he gets the best out of them. Like, even Shivam Dube, we didn't talk about that much right now because his success story was like overridden by others in the team, and the way they just won it as well with a clutch player winning it. But your thoughts generally, do you think they can actually this year, think about it, because it's a big year for Dhoni, it's a big year for CSK, they're on level with Mumbai in terms of the titles, win it, Dhoni retires, it's a high. Dare I say, CSK fans be like slating me, but that's the perfect way to end it, right? The THALA fairy tale.
I mean, not just that, also it's the end of the auction cycle, so the mega auction sort of comes up. So I'm pretty sure Dhoni is practical that way. Even in the last auction cycle, he sort of had the practicality to keep his ego aside and settle. I mean, it's not settle anyway. 12 crore bhi kam nahi, but even then, to be able to do that, he knows what's better for the team. So I feel next year would be his last season. Can that magic happen again, guys? That's what I was coming at. So again, Nikhil, I'll once again read my 11. Both of you can chip in. Gaikwad, this is almost in line with what Nikhil had said. Gaikwad, Conway to open, Ali, Rahane, Dube. Then number 6 pe there's a vacancy. Number 7, Jadeja. 8, Dhoni. 9, Chahar. 10, Tikshana. 11, Patirana. So number 6 pe jo vacancy hai, Shah Rukh Khan would logically make a lot of sense, but the guy genuinely struggles against spin. So that's something you have to be wary about. In particular, leg spin has, again, this isn't just numbers, you can see it. It's not just about numbers. He really seems uncomfortable against it. So that's a bigger concern to sort of think about. I think Shardul Thakur could be in, for a comeback. CSK loves going back to its former players, and none more so than Shardul. He's been a part of 2 of their winning campaigns. So Shardul could be one option they could look at. Shah Rukh, I just feel, doesn't fit in, but they did bid up to 8.75 crores in the mega auction for him. So you never know, local boy, so they would want someone there. So that could be one thing, but they mainly need sort of someone for the number 6 spot. So whoever they decide to go for, I'm pretty sure they'll break the bank because they don't have too many other vacancies. Apart from that, they'll be looking to have suitable backups for Patirana and Tikshana. Patirana hasn't been in the greatest of form. That's something they need to be sort of wary about. And also, given his action and everything, injuries have also not been his best friend that way. Like, being injury free is something he hasn't been able to do with. Akash Singh was genuinely a surprise. I really thought he'd done well, but maybe because they still have Mukesh Chaudhary, who also did well last year, maybe they want to go back to him. Maybe that could be the reason. In fact, Akash Singh came in as his replacement this year, so that could be one reason. And also, kitne pace chahiye? They have Simarjeet, they have Tushar Deshpande. I'm pretty sure they are higher up the pecking order, anyways. Or Chepauk mein kitna pace khilaoge? So that's the only option they're looking for. Preferably, Darren Mitchell is another option I'm thinking of because his medium pace cutters will actually be very effective. Not just his batting. I feel it's his bowling that would sort of clinch the deal for him when it comes to CSK bidding for him. So Mitchell is another name they can go for. And
Indeed.
I
If it's
know
85, that's brilliant. That's 15 away from 100. Please hit like, guys, and subscribe.
please, man. Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a compliment or it's an absolute stinker towards me. Can't we remove Avnish, please? Is that like, can we remove Avnish, please? Makes sense. But can't we? Is that like, I don't know, an oxymoron of some sort? I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they want me to be there or they don't want me to be there at all. But look, we'll talk about RCB Venkat 100%. We're building up to them nicely. I know most of you guys support RCB like me and Akshay. But just to finish on that CSK chat. And lastly, Nikhil, because Ambati Rayudu, how much will he be missed or not really? Because they have the weapons to, of course, replace someone like Rayudu. And who do you think is that Rayudu long-term replacement for them? Because he's been very pivotal for them in their last 4 or 5 years, I would say.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Manish Pandey finds a way. I don't know why. It just feels that somebody like him, again, can be used in that role. See, the good thing and the one of the best things that you see with Chennai is they don't play people out of position or out of their roles. They don't play people where they're not likely to succeed. And that is one of the single most biggest reason for them to have the percentages working in their favor. So very keen to see how they go. I agree with both the names there. Shah Rukh Khan was the first name. I've been wanting Shah Rukh Khan in Chennai since a while, even before Punjab took him. Harshal Patel is another name that I thought कि अगर शार्दुल नहीं मिलता है तो हर्षल पटेल के cutters lifting from that deck if the Chennai is slow it will be handy. So and again इसकी batting भी चेन्नई ज़्यादा use करेगा and no better guy than Bravo to really hone Harshal Patel's slower bowling skills as well. So those two names are definitely there in terms of Indian names: Shah Rukh Khan, Harshal Patel, Shardul Thakur, and Darren Mitchell again is a great option. I just feel with Darren Mitchell they might have to bat him higher up the order, possibly at 3 or 4, depending on the conditions. Because for me, as I said right at the start, I feel it's Tikshana and Monali. If those two don't click, then Chennai will have trouble because Nishant Sandhu, yes, can be tried, but we know how much they directly give the youngsters a very big role. So that's where I'm a bit skeptical of it. So there is Gerald Kodze, who I feel they should definitely look out for. Ke Pathirana ka replacement can be Gerald Kodze. He's played for JSK, so they know enough about him. And so, as I said, the pacer option is Gerald Kodze. You could go for Spencer Johnson. You could go for Stark if you want to. In terms of all-rounder, you have Darren Mitchell. Omer नहीं आ रहा है, but I will not mind him also क्योंकि very handy batting option. See, if that is the case, you see so many people there who can bat. Theekshana in the World Cup also showed that he can bat. So it's practically Khali Patirana who is not able to bat at this point of time. So if you add the impact player option, it gets even better. So the most of the bases are covered. All I'll hope for is another season where they trust the process. Results may or may not come. All I'm looking for is a spot in the playoffs. Uske baad you take it as it comes.
Which they'll always make. CSK have a knack of making playoffs like it's the 3 certainties of life, like death, taxes, and like how we say umpiring howlers. CSK as well. Yeah, Akshay.
Just one more thing is Ajinkya Rahane, like his form. That's also another thing that they'll have to look at. What he did this season, I don't know, man. Like I
See,
for some reason
with Chennai, you can say this for everyone. You can say this for everyone कि इसका form कैसा है, but how will he perform for Chennai? Because and it's true, it's not wrong. You see Theekshana, Pathirana, Ajinkya Rahane, Moeen Ali, Shivam Dube, Ravin, they all have question marks over their recent form. And that is the challenge that Chennai will have to counter. How do you supplement it? Because even Conway, if you see, he didn't quite lit up the World Cup as we expected him to. So it's going to be about playing the percentages right. And yeah, as you said, it could simply be another season where they oscillate from this to this, but hopefully it's not too far and somewhere in the middle.
And 100%. The reason I also mentioned Rahane is because this was the first time he had such a season in a long time. With the others, Theekshana, Pathirana, like you can expect them to come good once again. I don't know if Rahane will be able to replicate that kind of, aggression once again. If he does, well and good for him. Great for CSK. I don't know. Deep down, it just feels wrong to the other franchisees he's represented. कि भाई मतलब दूसरे लोगों ने क्या गलत किया था? I refuse to believe कि बाकी सबने
use सही से नहीं किया था. It's about giving people exact rules and not over expecting. I think the not having the pressure bit is very, very massive because the best example to me is Shane Watson.
It's true, bro. That man
It's
defies logic. It's just about how
that I
you
agree.
handle players in
That
your
I
team.
agree.
Some
At
guys in your team need an arm around the shoulder. Some guys need a right bollocking. There was a time where I know he lost it with Akash Singh in one of the games. No wonder I see him in the release players list over there, because Dhoni can imagine few guys who will run through a brick wall for him. Robin Uthappa in that CSK team didn't look anything, but they got the best out of him. It's insane. That's my point. Like, it's Dhoni, bro. He just has a way. Sorry, guys.
I know. At this point in time, I'm willing to agree कि हाँ ये काला जादू. Like that's how sort of jaded I am with just seeing all these random players just come to CSK and perform. But great, man, it's just great. As much as I sort of as an RCB fan, as much as it hurts me, it's also great to see. It makes for great viewing. So definitely well and good. If Rahane comes good, it's always good to see such things happen. But you just also have to sort of look at the other side of it as well. Just you have to be aware. So that's the only reason I wanted to
see, it did not work out for them in the previous season also. So it's not that it can't work out. So every team plays to a template. They're trying to execute it the best. Let's see how much margin they have for error with the replacements that they get at the auction.
100%. And Jagmeet Singh Oberoi chucklingly saying CSK is the old age home of cricketers. I'll tell you what, if they are, then they're the winning old age home of cricketers, because they know how to win. And not to forget, all the names that they get called, Dad's Army, and then, of course, like Akshay alluded to, the black magic of the CSK Juju, they find a way. And finding a way is essentially what it is to win the IPL. Lots of good comments coming through, of course. Rishan, if you're from Nepal, or if you're, of course, concerned about Nepali cricket, we'll talk about that much more later on in the show. We'll take all the random miscellaneous questions which we've not spoken about, and it's going to probably be the longest Monday Night Live going forward, guys, because we're not even done.
Likes, Avnish.
2 more likes and a 98. I mean, it's 100 likes, please. And of course, I know it'll be an elongated show, but lots to talk about. So keep your comments coming through and grab your dinner. We're not going anywhere. So we will, of course, take all the comments and, of course, appreciate the likes as well. At 100 likes, let's talk RCB. No, we're not breaking the particular structure, Dhruva, Nandish, but we appreciate your optimism, 100%. 4 more likes to go. I think it's lesser. And Dad's Army, let's go, saying Max Mojo. Fully agree with the Kala Jadu point. Akshay saying Shubh. And good to see Shubh as well in this particular discussion. Would love to get him in the future shows as well to pick his mind about his beloved Delhi Capitals. Right, speaking of Delhi Capitals, which we'll talk about in just a bit, the next team we want to, of course, throw some light on is the Punjab Kings, because they've always been one of those teams who have a lot of fans. One of my best friends, Tanya, she supports Punjab, and I know she'll be watching this as well. So good luck to Punjab and what they do in the auction, because there's something always keen to talk about Punjab. And as you can see over there, they have 17, but they need 8 more players to complete that 25 quota, and only 2 overseas slots left. The biggest talking point from Punjab, guys, and agree or disagree with me in the comments, and of course I'll get Nix and Anirudh to talk about it, is the fact that Rabada, should he have been released, because he was 9.25 crores, and more importantly, why did Punjab release someone like Shah Rukh Khan, who has a lot of upside in the tournament of the IPL? Right, enough of my fluff. Guys, what do you make of Punjab, and what do they need? Nix, I'll start with you again.
Yeah, I don't think I have an answer for Shah Rukh Khan. This is just one of those things that Punjab Kings do. I don't think they can buy him back at a cheaper rate. Not possible. He's offering something that very few offer, even on paper. So the form may be a concern, but again, you have to use them better. What they need is, I feel they replace Rajapaksha. I mean, they've let go of Rajapaksha, which is, I think, a spot they have to really, really fill, and they have to take a call. And as I think Pranav said, Sam Curran, Liam Livingstone. What are they going to do? How are they going to use these two? Because you saw what they did in the World Cup, and sometimes see, it's the same thing with Moeen Ali as well. that sometimes you are very much lured by the idea of them coming good as an all-rounder, but sometimes they carry a lot of risk. So it's the right usage, right place where they are going to bowl, because we all remember that Harpreet Brar decision, and we are wondering, okay, could he have gone to somebody else? Sam Curran wasn't doing anything much in the last season. So Rabada se zyada, I was bit more scared that maybe they'll release Sam, but interesting to see that they've backed him. I'm very keen to see where they slot him, because in terms of the order, you see they don't have a lot of space otherwise in terms of expect for that number 6 spot, because Besto Dhawan definitely start. Atharva did really well for them. So I don't think he's getting dropped, or Harpreet Bhatia in that slash option. And then you have Livingston, Sam Curran, Jitesh Sharma. So there is Sikandar Azhar as well, who I would perennially love to play all the games, but I don't think that is happening. And it's where that middle order is very, very brittle. And with no Shah Rukh Khan, it's even more. Because their bowling options are still fine. Matlab, Harpreet Brar, Rabada, Nathan Ellis, Arshdeep Singh. Arshdeep Singh form also, it's not too great. So very keen to see what are their plans. I think they have a few set individuals in mind, because that middle order to me looks very, very brittle. I want to know what Akshay feels about it. But Baki ki things are sorted. They need people in form, and they could use Prabhsinan up top, but then that leaves one of Tayade or Harpreet Bhatia, anybody out of spot. So very keen to see how they play around that aspect.
Akshay, I mean, I'll just ask you a few things about Punjab because it begs questioning. One, because perennially they've always been, let's go wholesale changes, right? So it was kind of surprising to see Punjab Kings kind of releasing just 5 players. But more importantly, they released the likes of Shah Rukh Khan, which I don't understand. And then it makes you think, because Bairstow, who else, Livingston and Curran are all pretty much guaranteed first team starters. What do they do with Rabada? Do they kind of usher him in, shoehorn him in as well because of 9.25 crores? And how do you see Rabada being part of the puzzle? Because they could have actually thrown him back in and bought him back for cheaper as well. That could have been an option. But what is their thinking, and what have you made of their business so far pre-auction?
Yep, and before I continue, we've hit 100 likes. Thank you so much, guys. Avnish, of course, is going to sing in Hindi later on. It's just great to watch all of this action, all of this engagement. Thank you so much for all the comments. Also, congratulating us. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you, New Relax with Vasant. It's great. It's great to watch. This appreciation. It feels surreal. Thank you so much, guys, sort of sticking with us, sticking through. We will always give our best. We'll always be honest, be true to what we know, and we'll always be as honest as possible. But Avnish and I, भाई RCB games के दिन तो कुछ expect मत करना. उस दिन तो हम खुला bias दिखाएंगे अपना. But barring that, you can expect us to be as neutral as possible. Yeah, coming back to the Punjab chat.
Sorry, the word for you is bias when with RCB, and neutral when it is other teams.
ये बात तो सही है. हाँ. हिपोक्रेसी की कोई सीमा नहीं होती भाई आरसीबी फैंस के पास. अपना कुछ नहीं है, अपना है बिंदास. The perks of having an empty trophy cabinet, I guess. But yeah, anyway, coming back to the Punjab chat, Rabada is a very comical retention, so to say, because literally the only reason I can think of why they've been playing Punjab so far, I mean why Punjab have been playing Rabada so far, is the fact that they've shelled out 9.25 crores on him. Ellis, 100% just based on form and skill alone, should be above Rabada in T20s, in the IPL at least. Coming back to the 11, right now, the way they structure, I feel it's, again, Nikhil, Avnish, both of you can chip in. Dhawan, Bairstow, 1 down is still empty, 2 down Livingston, 3 down Sharma, 4 downs empty, 5 down Curran, 6 down Brar, 7 down is empty. I mean, I've kept it empty because it's going to be a toss between Rabada and Ellis. 8 down Arshdeep, and 9 down again is empty. Of course, they have options to fill in, but I'm not going to use all the random options they have right now. Vidvat Kavirappa, I'm not sure of it. Sorry, I forgot to mention Rahul Chahar. So Rahul Chahar is going to be at number 7. One of the overseas pacers at number 8, and Arshdeep Singh at number 9. So bowling pretty much is sorted. Top order, literally Shah Rukh Khan has left a vacancy. It's not like they had backup options, which is what makes it even more bizarre. Shah Rukh Khan leaving has now left that number 6 spot open, vacant. And I don't know who are they going to fill it with, because all the overseas slots are booked. Bairstow is pretty much a short starter. So is Livingston. So is Curran. And so is one of Ellis or Rabada. So done. So pretty much done. Like there are no options that I can think of in the first 11. Abhi number 3 pe, they can probably try and force fit Atharva Taide or Prabhsimran Singh, something they did as well. This season, I remember Prabhsimran and Dhawan opening and Atharva Taide coming in at number 3 several times. So they can probably go back to that. But I don't know, just like once again, because it's a domestic player, if he doesn't do well out of position, he'll be chucked out very easily. And I just hope I hope that doesn't happen with Prabhsimran or Atharva Taide. नहीं तो number 3 में Indian options में KS Bharat is again one more name that I can think of, top order batters who've been let go of. But I don't think they'll get KS Bharat cheaply because there are other teams that are looking for top order keeper bats. Number 6 पे again Indian options में there's I don't know, man. Like I don't know number 6 पे किसको.
You've not mentioned Prabhsimran, right? Have you?
That's what Prabhsimran is an opener. Number 3 पे he'll have to be slotted in at number 3 if they want to really play because Dhawan and Bairstow have to open. I don't think they would want to.
I think they could open with case scenario because it's not like Prabhsimran is a sitting duck, right? He can bat and bat all right.
Of course, he can bat, but between the two, you would want to have Prabhsimran. You would want to have Bairstow opening, guys. I haven't missed Prabhsimran. My point is, between Prabhsimran and Bairstow, they would want Bairstow to open. They wouldn't. Of course, Bairstow would be a better option, a better bet compared to Prabhsimran in the power play. Why would they play Bairstow out of position? Between the two, Prabhsimran will have to be, will have to make the compromise. So they can.
I see it the other way. I see it because Bairstow is more experienced. He's a T20 pro, and he has that overseas muscle. I would just say, okay, I understand the logic of putting your two best up top, but I think Bairstow could do a little bit more heavy lifting in that middle order as well. Not middle order, but one down for sure.
No. That's not how teams would be looking at, and that's not how teams should be looking at, rather, at least according to me. It's all about maximizing each position.
He scored 100 last year, right? So it's not like there'll be so much. It's not like chalk and cheese completely. It's just maybe like...
Again, no one's denying Prabhsimran's potential. I 100% am with you on that. Prabhsimran has great batting potential. It's all about who can maximize your power play more. And between Bairstow and Prabhsimran, I'm leaning towards Bairstow right now. And I'm pretty sure that's how Punjab would also be thinking. Or else they would have chucked Bairstow out as well. They would have gone for another over. They would have, if they really felt Prabhsimran is a sure shot starter opening for them, then they would have. There's no point having.
But there were a couple of games that Punjab played last year where Bairstow didn't open. Right, he was part of the 11, but he didn't open.
I mean, Bairstow didn't play and didn't play the.
No, he did play. He did play, but he didn't play a couple of games for them in terms of.
No. Bairstow didn't play. Bhai, match shot came in as his replacement.
Bairstow was injured.
Yeah, Bairstow was injured.
But he's played for Punjab before, right?
Yeah. 2022 he played and he only opened
in that season. Then in that season, I feel like he was also kind of asked as that one-down role, but who knows? Because I know that season where Rajpaksa was fire for them, he kind of displaced him, and then Bairstow sat out for a bit. So let's see how they do with Bairstow, and it's an interesting point that we've just gone back up. Bairstow isn't in good form, seeing Nunal Hacks and lots more people having their shouts about Punjab as well. We really, really appreciate it. And it just makes me go back to that depiction once again with Punjab. And it's a kind reminder to all you lovely people watching. We're going to be talking about DC, RCB, MIRR, and LSG next in the next 1 hour or so. So lock your channel in right now on cricket.com/TV and tell a friend and like this particular channel because more likes appreciated. We're heading to the 150 target next in terms of likes. But quickly to sum up, Punjab, they, of course, need to buy 8 more slots. Not all 8 players, preferably, but with that 29.1 crore, they'd look to make 2 or 3 steep investments, I guess. Only time will tell who they go for. Right, let's, of course, move on and talk about Delhi Capitals next because I'm sure one Shubh Agarwal and another Gilly Cricket, Gurkirat in other words or other names, will be listening to that because Delhi Capitals with Ponting still at the reins makes you think what they're going to do in terms of auction and their strategy. They've had, in the last 3-4 years, you would say, decent business at the auction. I know they had not such an overwhelming squad on paper, but if you take a look at who they've released, it gives you an indication that they're kind of, again, similar, like KKR, righting their wrongs. Let's take a look at that depiction if you can actually see it. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, it's not popping up for me, but as you can see, Delhi Capitals what's the biggest sort of narrative here we're looking for, boys? Because it makes you think that you can't argue against any of their releases, but like RCB, they're now in a position where they need to have a very, very good auction. And I think to myself, any particular head-scratching moves, Nikhil, about released players first, and then we'll get on the retained players bit.
Yeah, I think I'm very, very not surprised with Powell going away, Pandey going away, Sarfaraz Khan going away. Nagarpati surprising, Priyam Garg surprising, Chetan Sakaria surprising. Mustafizur okay, okay, fair call, but the batting order now looks just top three and inshallah, which is, I don't know why, it's been the story of them for decades now. Okay, you have Warner, Shaw, and Marsh. उसके बाद the only name that you can have as a short starter is ऋषभ पंत. तो आपके 4-5 पे कौन बैटिंग करना है, 4-5-6 पे, even if you counter in ऋषभ, there is no I don't know quality or even options available who I think can easily fill that gap. You can fill one, you can fill two maybe, but as you said, they'll need a really, really good option because the bowling also, you look at Akshar Patel and Lalit Yadav, they'll have to play with Kuldeep and Mukesh Kumar. And Nokia ka fit rahega to. So this entire lineup, I don't know. They have, I'm sure they have a lot of specific names in place. Ke bhai, 4-5 pe isko leke aayenge, this will be our overseas guy because they have a lot of injury prone people. Warner, we don't know how much he'll play, but should be playing the IPL at least. Marsh is injury prone. Rishabh Pant is just coming back. Nokia was injured and missed the World Cup. So there isn't a lot of conviction that you see. But maybe, as you said, if they don't have a good auction, this could really go down very, very weirdly for them because you don't get convinced looking at that roster.
Avnish क्या इतना मतलब he was so lost seeing DC squad, he just भाग गया क्या, like बड़ा भी अचानक से looking at
just no basically had to just tend to a few chores in the house very quickly. But yeah, excellent points mentioned by Nix, and I did hear him, of course. It's not like I wasn't hearing for sure. Essentially, let's just go back to that main overview, right? Because I just want to understand how much of a purse DC have. 28.95 crores, Akshay, and they have 4 overseas slots. Now, it makes you think, do they automatically go in to replace someone like Riley Rousseau, Rahman Powell? How do you think they will be making their moves on that auction table? Because Ponting likes a few kind of characters in T20 cricket. Do you think he'll go down the Australian path? Do you think he'll get someone like Inglis that Nikhil said? Who do you think Delhi are going to buy in the auction?
Yeah, again, to begin with, a couple of surprising releases. Retentions wise, they've pretty much got it on point. I don't think they should have retained anyone else from their releases, but I have no clue why was Sakaria let go of. Not sure why even Phil Salt was let go of. They could have held on to him. It's not like he did bad for them. They also, because of which Abhishek Parel is now the only other keeping option they have. Talking about the 11 now, again, both of you can chip in. Warner, Shaw, Mitchell Marsh, Rishabh Pant. This is their top 4. I'm assuming Rishabh Pant is coming in. Number 5, vacant hai. Number 6, Lalit Yadav. Number 7, Akshar. Interchangeable hai. So Akshar can be number 6 and Lalit can be number 7. Again, basis the options they have, I'm just going ahead with it. Number 8 is vacant. Number 9, Kuldeep. Number 10, Mukesh. And number 11, Nokia. This is pretty much it. So they have to slot. They need to get someone for number 8. They need to get someone for number 5. Basically, a middle order batter and a bowling all rounder. These would be the primary slots that they would want to sort of fill in their first 11. Middle order mein, now we'll have to understand ki boss Delhi ka surface kaisa. It's like it is slightly low, slow. At least that's how it played in the last IPL. I'm not going by what happened in the World Cup because once again, guys, April to May is a different time. Mausam alag hota hai, tab ka the pitch plays differently. The dew factor would be a lot different. So let's not go ahead with what things happened during the World Cup. Let's think of what happened in the IPL. Let's stick to that. And what happened in the last IPL was, again, typical Delhi surface, fairly spin friendly, short boundaries hai that power hitters can maximize. But given how slow, low, and how spin friendly the surface is, even Mitch Marsh struggled despite all that strength, all that brute power. Inglis is a good option. He's good against spin, so I do agree with Nikhil Bhai when he mentioned Inglis. Inglis is definitely one good sort of spin-playing overseas batter that they can look for in the middle order. Coming to bowling all-rounders, I can think of Gerald Coetzee. Again, number 8 पे थोड़ा batting भी कर सकता है and bowling भी डाल सकता है. पैसा है इनके पास, so that could be one bowler they can look at. I don't know, Stark at number 8 in T20s makes a lot of sense, but they can go for him as well. Thoda wo left armer variety bhi mil jayega unko, so that can be another thing. Apart from that, when it comes to bowlers, I'll have to think a bit more, but Tristan Stubbs is a good shout. Another sort of aggressive batter, but I'm not sure spin ka game unka kaisa hai. Barring the SA20, he's not played much outside. MLC bhi nahi khela tha utna. Harshal is a good shout actually, number 8. Again, number 8 पे batting ठीक ठाक है. He's also been with the DC setup before with Ponting before. Those slow ones can grip nicely on the Delhi surface. Definitely, that's a good shout. Barring that, yeah, I'm not sure. Rachin, again, I don't see him at number 5 in T20s. It's too low for him. Nikhil Bhai also, I'm guessing, did say too low right now. So, barring that, yeah, so they need to fill in someone for number 5 or number 6 based on where Lalit and Akshar bat. So Josh Inglis would definitely be on top of the shopping list. According to us, this is based on current form. There's also the West Indies England T20Is that are going to happen before the auction. So thoda wo recency bias wahan se bhi aa jayega. So let's wait and watch. Who knows, Odean Smith wahan pe acha khel gaya to Odean Smith could be their number 8 next season. To pata nahi kahan se kya ho sakta hai. But yeah, off the top of our heads, these
in
are
terms of retentions that they made, like you even think about whether they could have released Lungi Ngiri, but then you think about he was just costing them 50 lakhs. So only the upside to that would have probably been releasing him to get another better overseas pacer. But they can go for the names that you guys have suggested. And look, Delhi Capitals under Ponting, I think they will grow as a team. They just need to get those key personnel and those key men. They have a few. I still think Warner has a lot to give to this franchise with his experience. Mitch Marsh is potentially going to be hitting the ceiling of his T20 career very soon, if not shortly. I think he's almost... it's fair to say that he's going to captain Australia in the T20 World Cup. I might be wrong. I might be jumping the gun over there, but he definitely has all the telltale signs of a leader, the bison that he is. And only time will tell how things go with Rishabh Pant in that angle, because he comes back and you think to yourself, Delhi again are a formidable unit. Lots of people in the chat are saying they are the worst squad. Lots of people want Nisham at 6. Sunita Gupta going on to say Rachin Aiga, and buyers for Obid McCoy will come to him, of course. And where was that? Omkar Kilari. No, Emma is not done. We'll, of course, talk to about Emma very, very soon. But that was Delhi Capitals, guys. And it's fascinating what they'll do in about 20 days' time at the auction. Just to, of course, reiterate, how much do they have? Well, they have 28.95 crores, as you can see over there. And more importantly, they have 4 overseas players only. So they have another 4 that they can potentially go for. Right. The time has come. Are you ready for the next team that we're going to be talking about? And it is the 0-time winners, but the greatest ever IPL team which has ever to exist, Royal Challengers Bangalore. And it is poetic that we've got Cameron Green. And I say we because, look, I'm calling the red. Akshay is a big RCB fan. I'm a big RCB fan. Vikas watching this is a big RCB fan as well. And it makes you think, how the hell did we get Cameron Green? Was it always in the pipeline? You think about his IPL debut. It was at the Chinnaswamy. You remember that night. You think about the last time he represented a shirt, an IPL shirt, was, of course, for the Mumbai Indians against Gujarat. And that was, of course, 6 months ago exactly to the day he got bought. So it's all fate. It all plays a part in the bigger role. My quick 2 pence on this man called Cameron Green is the fact that he's everything you want a cricketer to be. He's 2 meters tall. He bowls well, bats well, safest pair of hands, bucket hands really, born leader. He's already impressed as a teenager. He burst onto the scene. I remember he just absolutely took it as a rookie in the BBL, got a contract. Then he made his BBL debut in 2019. And here he is in 2023 as a World Test Championship winner, as a World Cup winner. We're getting perhaps the Shane Watson of this generation. They called him the Flintoff and a Ponting. If both of them had a child, it would be named Cameron Green. Look, there's lots of things we can talk about with Cameron Green. I'm excited. But 17.5 crores, Akshay, is it too much? I've given you this example on the phone. I'll give it to Nix and I'll give it to all the beautiful people watching. It's honestly matching with a girl in one of these dating apps, seeing their profile, really liking them, and then realizing that they're very high maintenance. Lots of girls out there love their fine dining, love their gourmet. But can you afford to take them for sushi, on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday night. You can, if they're really sweet, if they like your mother, if they crack jokes, if they're ambitious, 100%. But can Cameron Green tick all those boxes out for RCB? I don't know. So that's my call. I think we still need an overseas pacer in my spinner, but that's my RCB rant, guys. Akshay, you can take it away.
I will take over. Let's have the graphic on as well. Let's have the retentions and all of that. Yeah, talking about who they're playing right now and who they've released. Of course, Hasranga, Harshal, and Hazelwood, the Triple H as they were built. That's of course the biggest. Not biggest. That's the headline of RCB's retentions and releases. And I can see a few comments, and it's almost heartening to see a lot of people. Abhas says, he's waiting for my reaction. Thank you so much. I'll take that validation any day. I'm happy with most of the releases, including Hazelwood. He wasn't going to be available for at least a month. Guys, again, to be clear, it's not like Hazelwood was going to be available post, April. What Andy Flower explicitly said was he was going to be unavailable for at least a month, at least being the operative word. And that's a huge disadvantage. That would put RCB at a huge disadvantage if they had to, sort of go back. And what are we seeing right now? Oh my goodness!
There's a change in attire. We've got the Kaveri battle. We've got, of course, the CSK man to be an RCB man. Love it, absolutely love it. And I'm going to encourage more comments, but Akshay, keep on going. Yeah. I mean, I don't entirely agree with a few things, but look, we'll banter it out. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, your voice was breaking. What did you say?
I'm saying we'll banter about a few things. I might not agree with you, but I think holistically we're think on the same path. But go on.
Yeah, 100%. So I can see the direction in which Andy Flower's thinking and they're headed, and that's good to see because, like always, for me, it's always going to be process come first, which is why I genuinely am indebted to Mike Essen and what he did because they had a process in place. Clearly, Andy Flower and Mo Bobat have a process in place. They're looking at, making a batting heavy lineup. They want to leverage the surface that will be on offer at the Chinnaswamy, which is why if you look at that top six, it's Faf, it's Kohli, it's Rajat Patidar, it's Glenn Maxwell, it's Cameron Green, and then it's Dinesh Karthik. That's as holistic a top six as it can get. You've got Faf and Kohli who are out and out pace hitters, and you've got Cameron Green and DK at number 5 and number 6 who are again out and out pace hitters. And both of these pairs are sandwiching another pair who are very good spin hitters, which is Rajat Patidar and Glenn Maxwell. So that way they can really complement everyone. I mean, all of them can complement each other. The only downside to this is all of them are right-handers, so that could sort of make it one-dimensional. But yeah, you can't sort of fulfill every checkbox out there. You can't have a perfect setup. So I like the look of this batting order. I'm not sure if DK will be able to replicate his 2022 IPL Cup form. So that's going to be a huge huge checkbox that they would want to tick. I probably felt that he could have been released along with Anuj Rawat. That's 9 crores there that I'm not sure, is if it's worth it. But if I look at the 11 right now, again, top 6 is already mentioned. Number 7 is a vacancy. Number 8 is a vacancy. Number 9, they've got Mayank Dagar. I really like him. He's a very good option to have at the Chinnaswamy. He's from what I remember, the way he bowled to MI, the way he bowled to Chennai, the way he bowled to Bangalore itself, he's a gun fielder. He in fact holds the record, if I'm not wrong, for India's yo-yo test and all of that. He's again one of those fitness freaks. So very fit, gun fielder, can bowl, is a handy bowler. Batting ka utna nahi bolunga. I don't think he's in there for his batting value. It's primarily he's primarily a bowler. So let's look at that first. He's a better bowler than Shahbaz. So at number 9, I feel Mayank Dagar. Number 10, Siraj. Number 11 is another vacancy that they look to fill. Reece Stockley. I'm not sure how.
Another season for Vishak. Another season for Vishak or no?
No, I wouldn't start with him. Of course, injuries agar sab hota hai, to maybe I will go back to him. But I wouldn't start with him. Now, of course, as an RCB fan, I have to justify Cameron Green. I've had a day now to look at it, to actually sort of look at arguments on both the sides. I wasn't entirely sure of what to make of it yesterday because all of this happened out of the blue. And when I heard Andy Flower and Mo Bobat give their sort of justifications or explanations, they themselves weren't aware. Bhai, wo khud kal 4 baje shuru kiye. So hum pe to like thoda to hame bhi time chahiye. I do agree with them in that there's a saying in English which probably is when it comes to catches, when you're hunting, one in hand is worth 2 in the bush. Being certain, knowing that they already have Cameron Green in their kitty is worth a lot more. And to all those who are saying that, Cameron Green wouldn't have gone for 17.5 crores, my question to you is probably yeah. But last year, without having played any IPL, he went for 17.5 crores. This year, he's now played one season of IPL. He scored more than 400 runs. He's taken a few wickets. Chuck the bowling. Let's only focus on the batting. He scored more than 400 runs. He's represented the Australians in the World Cup. He's won a trophy. He's won the Ashes. I'm not sure why people think he wouldn't have gone for just as much, because let's look at which all teams could have gone for him potentially. There's Chennai Super Kings who need an all-rounder in the middle order. There's Punjab Kings who would want an all-rounder in the middle order. There's Delhi Capitals who would want an all-rounder in the middle order. By the way, Delhi Capitals was the team that went up till 17 last year. We've still not spoken about Rajasthan Royals, who are again in dire needs for a middle order batter, for an all-rounder in the middle order to sort of give them that balance. So we need to understand there were a lot of teams really looking for options, and a lot of them had money. So maybe we might have overpaid for him, but I get what they're looking at. And one more thing we need to keep an eye out. I know it might be biased here. I might be biased here, but I'm fine with it. But Faf du Plessis, this is going to be his last season. 2024 is going to be his last season. 2025, there's going to be a mega auction. If Cameron Green goes on to have a decent season, I'm not even saying a fantastic season, a decent season. Imagine a scenario like this. Cameron Green and Kohli opening, Rajat at 3 and Glenn at 4. And that could really be a very, very dynamic top 4 to have. And you have a top 4 where Glenn bowls and Cameron bowls. You've got a pace all-rounder, you've got a spin all-rounder. So that also you've got bases covered. So for the future, I have a feeling this sort of the excess amount that they're paying, the sort of the premium that they're paying is for the certainty and for the ability to retain him ahead of the mega auction. I'm thinking of it that way.
One second. Before I get Nikhil in as well, just a point I want to question you on, because you look at Mo Bobat and what Andy Flower said in both their statements. They've said he's an ideal fit, and they've stated reasons why he's handy in the middle order. So we're presuming Green would lock in that position at 5, right? Andy Flower sees it the same way. He said explicitly, you will lose top order wickets at times, and that's where you need someone like Cameron Green to come in and do his bit. He averages 50 in the IPL, even though that's overwhelming with just 16 games in and all of that. But you can tell that the bloke can bat, and you can tell that he can probably be that Shane Watson that I keep going back to. My question to you and now Nikhil is 17.5 crores. I don't think there could be a player who's actually worth that sort of money in this day and age, barring Rashid Khan. I know people will throw the example of 18.5 crores Sam Curran, 14 crores for Harry Brook, 16.6 it was, I think, for Chris Morris all those years ago. But 17.5 crores for anyone, let me just put it out there, I think it's too much money. But now the game has moved that way. We wouldn't have said the same thing about football transfer fees way back in 2005, I'm guessing. But Nikhil, do you see the logic of it? And do you think RCB right now are kind of painting it in a way that, listen, we always wanted him. Andy Flower was always having chats with him during the World Cup as well. And they're thinking it from that perspective, because Mo Bobat was pretty clear that he's an ideal fit for the team.
Wow, that's a lot to hear, firstly, but great emotions. See, there are a lot of ways to look at it. Yes, he's a handy buy. I will not disagree with it. Okay, he's a good buy, good prospect. At this point of time, though, I don't think you are in a position to afford one player taking up so much of the chunk when you don't have the major problem of your franchise not getting solved. For me, if a side who has a settled 8-9 players or a 7-8 players at least, if they go on and add Cam Green to their roster, it makes that roster go a level above. At this point of time, what Cam Green has done is it's ensured the one department is locked, but I have never worried about RCB's batting. To me, RCB's batting was always RCB's biggest Achilles has always been the bowling. And when you don't have any hope or any semblance of this is our likely bowling attack, I feel 17 is far too much to pay without having any idea. The problem here is, see, auction dynamics are very, very weird. You could end up with a very weird looking bowling attack and it may still work. So it's not that Cam Green will not work. The price is what I think, and the timing of it is a bit tricky, because now it gives very little room of error for the management that, okay, these are the guys and we have to crack them and we need them to come good, because at this point of time, as Akshay said, it's only Siraj. And Mayank Dagar bhi hai, but it's only Siraj. And I don't think it's a place to be jahan pe aapka 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's all empty. At least 5 slots are empty. So wahan pe I feel the budget taken out is far too much. And then you know how teams also play at the auctions. Now everybody knows, just thinking out loud, everybody knows RCB needs bowlers. They can all play around with RCB and increase the budget for any player and every bowler that they feel RCB will want to target. So I don't think in that position they have positioned themselves well. Yes, I'm sure Andy and I trust them as good minds to have very specific players in mind, because these are not your guys who will pick up anybody and just expect them to come good. I'm sure Andy has a list of names, but will also have a list of names. Okay, इनको हम use करेंगे. But the problem is when you don't have a lot of set players ready in your setup, I think it's a risk too much to take. It could still work out. The other problem that I have with Cam Green is he is their premier test all-rounder. At any point of time, if something happens, if Cam Green is pulled up, you're done. You have given away a chunk of your purse to that guy, and you have a, I don't know, unsettled, but you have very inexperienced, whichever the bowling attack comes to, you will need a lot of individual performances then to come through. So I feel it's a very big gamble. They could have Cam Green in place. I have no problem. I don't agree कि भाई वो 17 करोड़ के लिए जाता. When MI also played, they overpaid him, but they overpaid because they had a lineup ready and they just wanted to fit a guy. And even last year, whenever Cam Green did well, it was his entry point in the power play, not in the middle overs. And that is something that you can't confuse with World Cup or any other numbers. Okay, it will not be easy starting at over number 11 or 12. It doesn't work out that way. It hasn't worked out that way for many better options. And you have Will Jacks. You already have too many people here who are best fit in the top 5. So I agree with Akshay. Faf, Virat, Patidar, Green, Maxwell, great order DK ke साथ. But then you are again going to rely on RCB to outbat people. If you're able to do it, it will not matter because you will have some options down the ground, down the order. But there is very little margin of error now, is what I feel, honestly.
Indeed, lots of people in the comments, of course. I'll, of course, get to Akshay's thoughts in just a bit. 1 minute. I just have to shout out to all the people right now. And we nearly hit 200. I didn't see it. I saw 198 watching. It would have been some sort of record indeed. And I don't know why, but I'm guessing it is, of course, the clear emotions when Akshay and, of course, I talk about RCB, or maybe just Knicks as well, with all the sense that he keeps making. Right. Quick question that I can see pertaining to Akshay. We've built up Cannon Green, you and me, with regards to his upside. Knicks is basically kind of spoken about a couple of pitfalls that could possibly happen in the future because he's so involved with their test team and he's such a important player for Australia. But in the T20 scheme of things, I don't think he's going to be playing that T20 World Cup because they have such a abundance of rich batting all-rounders. Do you think that's a worry? The fact that he's not a T20 international pro, he's just played 8 games. I think he's not delivered with the bat in hand, neither with the ball. Is that something to worry about?
I mean, not delivered with the bat in hand would be a bit of a stretch. Bhai, against India itself last year T20 series mein अच्छे से 20 ball 50 mara tha opening for them. But yeah, he's not in the Aussie T20 scheme of things because of the World Cup. Again, to be clear, I still don't know whether I mean, which side I'm on. What I was trying to put forward is how was the setup and think tank thinking about this. All I was saying is what they were thinking. I'm still not sure. Even I'm not entirely convinced, but at the same time, I don't think it's completely wrong. I sort of get where they're coming from. So let's sort of put that out there. Coming to the 11, let's talk about that as well. So again, top 6 ho gaya. Then they've got number 6, number 7 that's empty, number 8 that's empty, number 9 Mayank Dagar, number 10 Mohammad Siraj, number 11 I'm not keeping Reece Topley because of his injury concerns. I don't know if he can sort of stand the entire season. So which means we need to find someone for number 7, for number 8, and then for number 11. We need a pacer, we need a spin bowling all-rounder, and then we need a number 7. And this is where I feel Shardul Thakur is one of the names that came to my mind. He could actually add value. I know it sounds weird, but Shardul Thakur, Cameron Green, Glenn Maxwell, these 3 together can give at least 6 to 8 overs regularly.
We have completed a circle when we had Shardul Thakur ka image. I want to go back to that clipping. Wo clipping nikalo. Please, Vikas, wo clipping nikalo.
100%. But yeah,
Shardul, I mean, if he comes to RCB, I wouldn't care really much about his bowling, especially the Chinnaswamy, because it's his doom and gloom. Even though sometimes he has that partnership breaking ability, I would fancy him in away games and I would fancy him in home games as a batter to just tonk it for sure. Rahul Chaudhary, we're already done discussing KKR, so you can rewind this. We'll put the time codes and the time stamps out so you guys know exactly, even after the show ends, where your particular teams have been spoken about, and we've discussed it fully. Who's RCB's wicketkeeper? DK, I think, for one more year, and then maybe they'll slowly bleed in Anuj Raut. I don't know. They might just use him as an impact player like they did last year. And it just makes you think, in that 23.25 crores, like Dhruv Anandesh points out here, how will they get these three things sorted out? One overseas bowler, one Indian bowler.
That's my point. Chetan Sakaria, Karthik Tyagi, these are two options I would look at. I don't think they'll be too expensive in the auction. I feel we should be able to get them for 4 or 5 crores or below. Yeah, sorry.
And that's what Neil is saying and pointing it out to Knicks as well, right? Here other teams can go.
The only problem here is, you see, in all of these we discuss a lot more. Other teams also need the same thing. They also need a lower order batter. They also need one overseas pacer. They also need one wrist spinner. So the problem with mini auctions is, it's the timing. What does your side need, and when does that set of player come, and how much have you left yourself with? And because a lot of mini auction mein to options come hote hai, and there are 4 or 5 teams who need particular player slots, so that order will be very, very crucial. But I agree that yes, they could go for Kodji, they could go for Karthik Tyagi, they can pick people and they can work around with it. But the only problem,
Sakaria is one more name.
Sakaria is also a good option. But the only thing is, there's a very little room to err, in terms of you can't err with that very tight budget. आपके पास अगर 7-8 crore और होते हैं ना, it gives you a freedom to just try a few more options. अभी you'll have to be very sure कि भाई ये मेरे को चाहिए, because see, I don't think Karthik Tyagi not getting too much. उसको 5-6 से तो ज्यादा मिलेगा ही, क्योंकि ये इंडियन बॉलर है, नहीं मिलता बाहर market, तो he will go for a lot. Your overseas all-rounder, if or a pacer, a lot of sides need it. There is a SRS needs it, Mumbai will want it, KKR needs it, CSK need it, LSG may not want it, but there are still Punjab may need it. So the problem is, a lot of people, similar set of people will have a lot of demands. So I don't think कि Cameron Green के कारण Brook होगा, क्योंकि their role will be very clear. I don't see RCB missing, क्योंकि there is no way you can change the top 3. So I don't think that is happening with RCB at least.
Okay, indeed. Where is Hasaranga going? Many people thought about SRH, Amit. If you joined the show earlier, we discussed about where Hasaranga could go. I know the 10.75 crore aspect and the fact that he wasn't delivering to his full potential with maybe bat and more predominantly with the ball. That's why I think they released him, and that was the eye-raising sort of release compared to even someone like Hazelwood, indeed. Dark Hustler, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If they need to make the best use of Cameron Green, he goes on to say, Akshay, they need to play him as an opener. Then it would lead to Kohli at 3, Patidar and Maxwell at 4 and 5. But look, we heard the comments, and I'll repeat it for you, Dark Hustler, that they're looking at Cam Green as number 5, because you look at that top 4, and albeit even the top 6 all right-handers, but it's set in stone. Kohli, Faf.
Just one thing. Yeah, just one thing. Sorry to cut you. I think it's a potential option once Faf goes. Okay, once Faf goes, yes, you can go back to Green up top, which is possible then.
Again, just one thing to put it simply, they're willing to pay that premium because they get the option to retain him. They have the option now to hold on to him for the next 4-5 years. So we need to understand that. Again, I'm not justifying it, but I'm just trying to sort of understand. I mean, trying to put forward their POV.
You are, but okay.
I'm justifying their actions, not mine. Meko apna khud ka nahi pata.
There's another one from Vasant, and he's saying, Akshay, would the statements have been the same if the team was some team like probably LSG, and importantly, replace someone like Kohli with KL? KL is a pace hitter too.
Speaking of which, by the way, it's actually been confirmed that RCB and LSG were in serious talks for KL till yesterday. This is not false news. This is not rumors. They actually were going. I mean, apparently if the Cameron Green thing hadn't gone through, KL was coming back to RCB because the Cameron Green trade actually sort of went the distance. They signed the deal. So KL Rahul deal fell through, but apparently KL Rahul was realistically going to come back to RCB. So that was something. But yeah, I mean, you never know.
That's even news to me. I mean, that would have definitely. I don't know how I would have felt about that, because I like KL generally, and I'm not just saying this at the back of the World Cup, but even before, and when he was part of the RCB 2016 team, I generally wanted him to kind of be there. And then he, of course, flourished in his career, and why would he want to be in the same team and Virat was captain, so he had to kind of move away. But if he comes back in the future, I'd definitely see him as a permanent replacement for Virat going ahead. Even if Hazelwood misses for 3-4 weeks, RCB should have retained him. I think there's more to it with personal reasons, like Akshay touched upon there, Santosh.
At least 3-4 weeks. Sorry, not only 3-4 weeks, at least 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, and Paras Arora being a snarky MI fan or just jibing at RCB fans nonetheless. And look, only time will tell, because I know we've had great players at our disposal who haven't worked out. Mo Nali comes to mind, Quinton de Kock, Shane Watson. It's about usage, a word that Nix keeps going on about, and how they get the best out of someone like Cameron Green. Prateek going on to say Mavi's a good option. Yeah, I'd love to see him over there. There's another one which said Karthik Tyagi, and how it could be bloodbath in the Chinnaswamy. I don't know.
Santosh Udpat made that comment.
Said that. Lomror and Anuj Prateek, given the batting strength that we have, I don't know. Lomror, I think, was just like paper over the cracks with Patidar's injury last time out.
Yeah.
So I think he'll just be a good bench strength player and young player who, of course, could play his part well. RCB should take Akash Singh in the bowling lineup, saying Aniket Jagtap. I think Akash Singh did get Virat Kohli out in that RCB CSK game. Indeed, we all remember that. How many hours will you discuss about RCB? I think you have more time, bro. We're going to finish things up right now and move on to the next team, because that's a perfect way to go on and talk about a team RCB did a favor too with MI, because MI, indeed, as you can see, they have 17.75 in their kitty. Talking crores here, and they have 4 overseas slots. You talk about who they've released. Well, no prizes for guessing, because you talk about the big names over there, and I'm saying big with all due respect to Jofra Archer, Tristan Stubbs, Riley Meredith, of course, plays his part, and not to forget someone like Chris Jordan. But they've also retained, more importantly, a few surprise calls. You would say someone like Jason Behrendorff, didn't know that they would actually put so much faith in him, but I'm guessing he's been with the MI camp for a bit. So they're thinking why they've released Shams Mulani. Maybe they see potential in these players. And Nahel Varela was a brilliant find for them, another hidden gem. And you look at why they've probably released a few players. Anyway, let's get into the talking points of Mumbai Indians. We'll start with a headline grabber, Hardik Pandya, Nikhil. And does he add value with his squad? More importantly, will he captain Mumbai Indians? Do you expect that statement to be announced soon?
God bless you, Akshay. I don't know. I have no clue. He went out of MI, maybe looking for captaincy, got it with Gujarat, but has come back. So I think that call depends with Rohit in terms of how Rohit is going to go. So that is something that we will only have to wait and see. He definitely adds value. Not that he won't. I mean, this is very standard, and everything happened here for him. So I actually did not agree with Akshay when he said KKR have the best Indian lineup. I think on paper Mumbai have it. To have a starting 11 of Rohit, Ishan, Surya, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, it's and Nehal Vadera is also there. So again they have a lot of more bases covered in terms of options. मतलब जैसे with KKR, you know, there are certain things that can trouble some of their batters. So यहाँ पे भी Kishan can be troubled, some others can be troubled. But this is a group. It's if you take Rohit out, it's a very young group, and you put in Deval Dhruvis there, it makes it even more dynamic in terms of the top 7 that you have as options. So I think they do have a very good top 7. Their bowling is not a worry, but I'm very keen to see where Hardik slots in, because he was slotting in higher up the order for Gujarat at 3 and 4. यहाँ पे 3-4 पे जगह बिल्कुल नहीं है. यहाँ पे the highest that he can bat is 5, because Rohit, Kishan, Sky, I don't think should change there. So Tilak के पहले आना है तो he can, but I would want Tilak to get that game time. And the only thing that I'm hoping for from this move is Hardik Pandya, the finisher, coming back to Indian cricket, because that to me is the only biggest positive that can come out of this entire thing. के the Hardik of Mumbai Indians is what we all wanted in the T20 setup, and maybe this is the time to get back to it.
100%. Rohan Kumar Rai, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Tell all your friends, man, because we'll, of course, take your questions, their questions, and everyone's insights about Mumbai Indians right now. And, of course, you guys have seen how we're doing it with every team. Akshay, let's call it for what it is. This move from Hardik Pandya back to Mumbai Indians is not sentiment. It's pure brand endorsements. That's what's going on. That's the rumors. Hardik also is probably won't have any shame in saying that, because sometimes we talk about cricketers and their shelf life. They want to, of course, maximize that. I don't know about the undisclosed fee. Only the IPL will know, and the franchisees involved will know how much they paid on top of the 15 crores for Hardik Pandya. But it makes me think, what is the cricketing reason? Nick's pointed out one brilliant one right now. It benefits Indian cricket more because he's the inevitable captain for the T20 World Cup. It benefits Indian cricket more because he's going to be going back to that finisher's role, given about what the people are saying in the comments and their 11s. Everyone's finding Hardik in that 5-6 sort of finisher role, and I completely agree with them. But what is it for him? Because even though people are saying, yeah, Rohit is still the official captain of Mumbai, it's honestly a baton being passed to Hardik. Neeta Ambani, I think, has come out saying that she's very excited about the second stint for Hardik. It gives you the impression that they're going to make that announcement in months' time or 2 months' time or whatever, that Hardik Pandya is the new captain for MI. Am I wrong? Or do you still see Rohit leading the side?
It's good that it's good that he went, am I wrong? Well, you're not. No, neither are am I.
Wow. Yeah, but I'd be very, very, very surprised if Hardik doesn't captain MI, because there's absolutely no reason why Hardik would, let go of IPL captaincy. Of course, money is a big factor, and it would have played a big role. I'm not going to blame him or sort of, whatever, make big.
And exactly. And I agree with Ashutosh, and I agree with all these players, not just in cricket, but football as well. You look at even really quickly, just to deviate, a player from Liverpool, Sadio Mane, went to Saudi Arabia only for the salary, so he can, of course, make a huge difference to his African nation, right? And that's testament to the man. So Hardik, of course, might be greedy in some people's eyes, but cricketers can, of course, make their buck. And if Mumbai Indians also want him back, they see a good 4, 5, 7 years with Hardik to be the next leader for them, why not? So go on, Akshay, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, Hardik does not even have to do that charity, and I'm pretty sure he won't. But even if he's thinking about just his and his family's well-being, so be it. Because at the end of the day, 20 years down the line, we are not going to feed him. We are not going to take care of his financial needs. So he looking after himself is perfectly fine. And I'm happy. I, for one, am really happy to see such a big transfer happen. It sort of, sets precedent for more such moves to happen in the IPL. And I'm looking forward to that. I really hope IPL goes to football way, where we normalize such big players moving across teams. It's high time we start thinking of, oh, this is this guy's team, that is that guy's team, and we look for the team as is. So I'm happy for that. Coming to the MI setup, Nikhil bhai, what I then mentioned was KKR's middle order. Their domestic middle order is the best setup, because if I look at MI's middle order, it's Kai, Tilak, Pandya, Nehal. I'm not sure Hardik Pandya in the middle order. I don't think it would be better than both the Iyers, Rana and Rinko. Nehal Vadera is yet to prove himself completely. Hardik Pandya hasn't been his true finisher self for the last 4 years. Tilak, Sky, 100% agreed. But I feel Nitish, both the Iyers and Rinko make up for it. But sure, it's a debate for another day. So again, right now, if we look at Mumbai's batting lineup, it's Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, Sky, Tilak, Pandya, Nehal Vadera, Tim David. Then they have no one at number 7, no one at number 8. Then they have Jasprit Bumrah, and then they have Akash Madhwal. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, 5 down, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. And after Akash Madhwal, there's another vacancy. But one problem with this is this means they're going to play 8 Indians. So the likely candidate to sort of face the axe is Akash Madhwal. They'll go for 2 overseas pacers, and they'll go for an overseas spinner. With this setup, Tim David is the only overseas player right now. I have a very strong feeling Vanindo Hasranga will be one name they'll really look out for. At number 8, he'll be able to add that batting value as well, and with the ball, of course, he's as effective as he is a more than effective option. He's a wicket-taking option. He might not have had the best of seasons with RCB this time around, but make no mistake, he was the second highest wicket-taker in IPL.
It's important you mention someone like Hasaranga, because we discussed it even during the SRH bit, right? That one of these teams will definitely go gung-ho with an overseas pro. And Hasaranga is a really good bet. I know many people will be like, yeah, Vakade is similar to Chinnaswamy in terms of ground dimensions, but that red soil could assist someone like Hasaranga more. And we know what Mahela Jayawardena brings in terms of being the head coach. He could probably take Hasaranga under his wing as well and get the best out of him.
Yep, but head coach, director of global cricket, ऐसा कुछ था भाई, fancy नाम, इतना दिया fancy नाम, थोड़ा याद करो ये सब, क्या कर रहे हो भाई?
I mean, 100%, I agree with you, but you know what I mean, right? Point being, they did really well in last year's campaign. I know they fell short to Gujarat Titans, who eventually lost to CSK, so you would say Mumbai finished third with that regard. But what do they need to do to win yet another trophy? Because when was the last time they won one? 2019, was it?
2020.
2020 Delhi Capitals.
So, and of course, the Ambani are no slouches in terms of owners. They want success. So, do they see this year being a success? Because, like I alluded in the CSK bit, those two also have their own battle amongst the war, 5 titles each. How will the MI juggernaut add one more to their illustrious list?
Yeah, I think as Akshay rightly said, to me the point is about what follows Tim David, because that's a massive gap to fill. But it's probably the only gap to fill, because I think Akash Madh will be the guy who they will impacts about. So that will just add to their batting depth. Because if you look at the 11, there are just two overseas guys who are definite starters, Tim David and Jason Berendo. How many teams can you name जहाँ पे तुमको सिर्फ 2 ही नाम लगेंगे जो ओवरसीज स्टार्टर में है? You'll probably see कि 3-4 नाम तो होंगे at least. But that's where I think Mumbai will spend money. They don't have a lot, so I think they'll have to be very specific and sure about who they want to buy. Uh, I think they definitely need one option to back up for Jason Behrendorff, whether it is Stark or पता नहीं Spencer Johnson क्यों मेरे मन में है पहले से ही कि he could be a perfect fit at Wankhede. So that could be one. If they get Karthik Tyagi, there is not much left then for others to fight, because if that batting order then clicks, so you will need a lot of good luck. But again, we have seen in the past there are ways to stop Rohit, Kishan, Sky, and everybody. So their form will be critical, but I'm very keen to see, because like it is with RCB, I think Mumbai need very specific things. So I don't think it will be easy to get them, because a lot of people need those similar options, and their purse is also a lot less. So maybe they'll have to go with a Madhushanga or a pick that is coming just at the right time for them to make the most use of. So and yeah, Jai Richardson, maybe I think he was injured. He's probably injured for the second time, and they missed his services. So they had to let go of Archer also because of the injury concerns. So let's see. It's one very open spot for them to take care of. Let's see who they go ahead with.
Okay.
And just
Anayar is going on to say Hardik will captain
Yeah.
MI only after mega auction. Roles will probably be done by 2025. And Hisham, I think you asked this at the top of the show as well. Let me just reiterate. Hardik, being the player, had the consent and, of course, went and approached MI. And that's how the sanction happened. If they released him the auction pool, A, Hardik wouldn't have got his wish. And B, it wouldn't have happened, because it starts with the player approaching the franchise first. And we'll wait for Akshay to finish his sneeze, because I don't know what he's got the measles.
Sorry.
What's up, Akshay?
Man, just bad dust allergies flaring up. About the Karthik Tyagi bit, as much as I'd love to see him go to a setup like that, because it will be great for his personal, development. But I'm not sure if he'll fit in anywhere. They already have Akash Madhwal, who himself will be an impact sub at best. They'll be most likely going for a 2 overseas spaces strategy with Bumrah. So Karthik Tyagi will once again be forced to, be with four. I mean, Karthik Tyagi will be forced to be at the bench, to remain in the bench behind someone like Akash Madhwal, who himself will be an impact sub. So if anything, I would rather have him go to another team and play more games. So, but yeah, you never know if MI sort of go, maybe Nehal Vadera might not be a short starter. They might go for an overseas batter there, one overseas pacer, and then have someone like Tyagi or Madhwal in the 11 itself. So they can look at different combinations. But assuming Vadera starts, then I'm not sure if Karthik Tyagi will be, needed there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My only problem there is, if you look at the bowling order, then it's Bumrah, Behrendorff, Madhwal, Chawla, and Hardik. It's not something that gives you a lot of confidence. So they probably need at least one more option, at least on paper, to feel better about it. So let's see. Shabash. We had it. We needed one.
I unmuted. I don't know how to mute itself, but ठीक है. 11 में कहाँ आएगा? Like, where will Karthik Tyagi be able to enter 11 then? Because they'll have to go with 2 overseas spacers. So your 9, 10, 11 is sorted. At 8, someone like Hasranga, I mean, a spin bowling all-rounder is what they'll be looking at. So
if they get an all-rounder, तो क्यों नहीं आएगा?
Doesn't fit the starting 11, you think?
Sorry?
Romari Shepherd doesn't start in the 11?
No.
Difficult to
Highly
defend.
unlikely.
Yeah. Unless they let go of Jason completely and they get a left-arm Indian, मतलब अगर कार्तिक त्यागी को खिला के कोई लेफ्ट आर्म सीमर नहीं खिला रहे हो तुम, that is the only way they can get Romero Shepherd up in that order.
100%. By the way, Ishan edits, don't clog the chat. We've already done discussing CSK. We didn't think of this, but I don't think that'll happen with regards to Rachin Ravindra going to CSK. I might eat my words, but look, respect the chat in terms of the teams and the order and the structure we're doing. We're done with, of course, many of the teams. Let's just finish up this MI chat by once again just showing you their list of retained players, their released players. You can, of course, catch more details and analysis in written articles on cricket.com. It's fascinating in terms of downloading the app and the website, so do it already. And, of course, we'll talk about the rest of the teams as well. So we're done with 8 teams, guys. 2 more teams, and that is, of course, Rajasthan Royals, who won the goddamn competition way back in 2008, and not to forget LSG, who are going to probably have a new coach. JL and KL, we'll talk about them and how they will fare in the auction. And RR first, because RR, they have been absolutely brilliant the last 2 years, but again, no success, no silverware. Will it be in 2024? They need 3 more overseas slots to fill. They need 8 available slots potentially to fill, but they have just 14.5 crores, do Rajasthan Royals. What's more with the Pinks, and when I look at this particular list of names, guys, I'll talk to you about it in just a bit and ask my questions. But essentially, all the usual candidates are retained. They potentially have the best bowling attack right now as we speak, with Ashwin, Chahal, Zampa, Bolt, Prasidh, and now Mukesh coming. Not Mukesh, beg your pardon, Avesh. And let's see how that really happens for them. They still retained the youngsters in Rian Parag, Dhruv Churel. There's, of course, Donovan Ferreira, who's an unbelievable T20 product coming from South Africa, so they can explore with him. And what's more, and I should add over here, they will enter the auction with a small purse, like I said, but luckily they just need only 2 players when you talk about Rajasthan Royals, a backup overseas pacer and a pace bowling all-rounder. That's why Akshay was mentioning Cam Green potentially going to someone like an RR, but only time will tell who they get with regards to that. Not to forget, they've also managed to move out Parikal, which is not a bad thing at all, because for 2 seasons they tried to force fit the youngster into the 11, but his departure could potentially pave the way for Rian Parag to bat up the order where his strength lies. So let's, of course, ask Nix what he feels about this RR squad. And whoa, he's a magician, this man. He's gone from yellow to red to pink. It's absolutely brilliant to see, and I'm loving it, loving the enthusiasm, Nix. And talk to me, man, because RR certainly have a good squad, but are they champions incoming?
Yeah, I think it's just certain things that can make a 33-year-old guy feel good about things that is cricket. But okay, we can talk about that later. Yeah, I think RR did the best thing in terms of taking out DDP, because they were trying to force fit him, and it was never allowing them to have a settled top 5. So I think finally they have that sorted. I think their issues still remain. There were 2 striking problems that we had last year as well, in terms of who do they have at 6 or 7. They've tried various people, Holder, Basit, everyone they could. They sent Abdul Basit with 4 needed in 1 ball. I was there in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, with you guys when that game happened. So that is the one spot that I still think is open. Very keen to see who goes there. Whether Akshay thinks Shah Rukh Khan is a potential candidate there, if he can fit in there. But otherwise, it is very much sorted. You have your bowling covered in Ashwin, Chahal, Krishna, Bolt. Avesh Khan, again, I know a lot of people have their doubts, but I feel to get an Avesh Khan in solves a major problem for them in terms of their third pacer. They've often relied on KM Asif, Kuldeep Sen, and others bowling 1 or 2 overs. Sandeep Sharma has done a great job for them. So I think just having Avesh gives them a lot more options to play around with for various conditions. जहाँ पे DDP के लिए it was not possible. तो sorry Knicks भाई इतनी स्पीड में जैसे बोला था आयरन पिच, yeah maybe who knows, but मेरे पास 4 ही जर्सी है यार, 9 नहीं है. So God bless you, Akshay. So I think the problem for them is
I just keep Pranay Yadav's comments, because he has Rahman Paul in his picture. He keeps asking us Rahman Paul for every team. I don't know where he'll fit in, man.
Yeah, I think, but he is a decent option. Yeah, नहीं बोलो Akshay.
No, I was just saying, I'll just love to see Pranay's love for Rahman Powell.
Yeah.
But yeah, agree with him. I mean, in fact, Barbados Royals had traded him from Jamaica, so clearly the Royal setup actually rate him highly. Could be a choice. Sorry, Nikhil, आप पहले खत्म कर लो point.
Yeah, I just want Akshay's thoughts in a bit, but Nikhil, just take Dark Hustler's question also, because pretty much what I was going to ask you next. Do you think it's time for Sanju Sam to step up this season with a stellar performance at a time when he's not part of the plans for the national selectors? Because the Sanju story continues, and I know we all want him to bat slightly lower down the order for RR so he can kind of take that form into India, but that's not happening. So how do you see that being solved by Sankara and company?
I just think he should bat at 3. Forget everything else. Bat at 3, score truckload of runs, and then let's just the bat do the talking. अगर 3 नहीं है, 6 है, ठीक है, go there. Just stick to one thing. Figure a way out to give a very good run, because see, with RR, I have always felt they've not always used Rian and Sanju best with Hetman. So their entry points are something that have always angered a lot of people, even Somesh, कि भाई ये अभी क्यों आया है, संजू अभी क्यों आउट हुआ है, where does he send Parag now? So I think Rian Parag's role is also critical. He again had a very good smat, so he is coming among runs, but you need absolute clarity of role. Okay, this is the spot for you. Stick to him at 5 if at all you're giving him 5. जो भी role है with Samsung, with Parag, you stay there. I think they have Hetmeyer. They could get Daryl Mitchell or any other option to just boost that bit. And of course, not every year where Butler will not score runs. So I'm hoping Butler का mean reversion भी हो जाएगा. So that will give them that platform for someone like a Sanju or Rian Parag to come in and then be more expressive. So I think for Sanju, it is a massive season, but it's even more important for him to decide a role and just stick to it and not go open niche anywhere, no matter what happens. Just give your best shot, whatever you decide early. So they have an option of, क्योंकि नीचे देखो हेटमार और ध्रुव जुरल भी है. If you get a very good pace bowling all-rounder who can hit runs, they've tried Neesham and others in the past. Darren Mitchell को ले लिया, Bracewell को ले लिया, किसी को भी ले लिया. If you're assured of that finish as well, there is nothing stopping you from playing your shots. Sometimes I feel Sanju has been caught in terms of whether I play the long-term route or do I go the aggressive route all the time. So I just hope that clarity is done, because the team is settled, but it will need individuals to then really just step up.
Okay. Ramana Kiran, good to see you as well. Michael Bracewell to RR is a good shout. We'll, of course, ask Akshay who thinks RR should buy, of course. And all you other guys who keep in the comments come through and viewing us, thank you so much. I hope the likes have gone to 150. And Hisham going on to say impact rule is going to make biggest impact for RR. Let's ask Akshay what he thinks about Rajasthan Royals right now and what he makes of them, because we always kind of think that they will punch above their weight. They have, of course, done well in the recent past, I will say that with a caveat. What do you feel going into that auction? Because they have just 14 crores, bro. So even if they want someone like a Shahrukh, even if they want someone like a Bracewell or whoever they're targeting, other teams will take them down that path where they don't want to tread, right? If you already lose 5 to 6 crores early in that auction, then you're kind of playing catch up, because you look at him in the slots that they have. Sorry, beg your pardon, not the GT graphic, but this one with regards to how many slots they have available? 8. They might not really end up with 25 players. Even if they go in with 23 players, that's still 6 more players with 14 crores. So they might not go for the big names, but they need to slip in a few gems in that auction without the other teams messing with their business, right?
100%. And to be honest, probably Rajasthan is the only team in this auction cycle to have had the same problem since the 2022 season, going into the third season now. Like the first thing I remember in the previous mega auction when they went for Bolt, Chahal and Krishna was, why have they gone for 3 number 11s? And that continues to be the case. Ideally, the impact player should help a team like this. Unfortunately, this time around, they didn't have the kind of backups to be able to leverage this rule. They tried someone like a K.M. Asif, they tried someone like a Morgan Ashwin, tried someone like an Abdul Basit, but it didn't help. Dhruv Jurel was definitely their find of the season. If anything, going into this auction, this is probably like a left field choice or some, like, this is my prediction. I feel RR will be the one team and probably the first team to actively go for overseas impact players next season. Because if I look at the 11 right now, Butler, Jaiswal, Samson, Parag, Hetmeyer, this is their top 5. At number 6, Dhruv Jurel. Number 7, Ashwin. Number 8, Avesh. Number 9, Trent. Number 10, Chahal. Number 11, Prasid. This would be their first 11 based on whether they're batting first or bowling first. If they go for decent enough overseas backups, they should be able to maximize the impact player route with this 11 itself. So, and coming to options they can go for, because they have budget constraints, Shahrukh ideally would have been a perfect fit, but won't be possible. Michael Bracewell is a decent shout, but I don't know if they need him because they already have decent enough spin options in their 11. They would want more of a proper batter and a bowler as an impact player. I don't think they need to go for an all-rounder itself. From what I understand, Gerald Curtsey is someone they're actually looking at. Apparently, he was also going to be a part of their Nagpur camp that happened last month, where Holder also was there. So Gerald Curtsey is definitely one name they will be willing to spend big bucks on, but unfortunately, again, 14 crores, they can only bid so much. But yeah, they'll be looking for proper batters, proper bowlers. Daryl Mitchell is another decent shout. He's also been a part of their setup before, so that could be one more name they can look at. Barring that, in terms of bowlers, I'm not sure who could, like, what are the budget options available. Maybe Madhushanka because of the Sangha connection. That could be another option they can look at. Again, they look at budget options. They look for budget options. Whoever's available, someone like an Alzari Joseph, probably, again, whoever's within the 4 crore, 5 crore bracket, they'll be going for them. This is how I'm looking at it.
Okay, interesting indeed. I think Akshay needs a little bit of tissue paper because he's absolutely leaking from all corners, which is good to see. It happens. It's just candid TV, this at its best. But going back to the RR score really quickly, if you guys need reminders, these are their retained list. They perhaps have the best bowling on paper indeed. And of course, I know that cricket.com tickers overshadowing a few, but nothing to miss. It's more important than messaging over there. Follow us on Instagram and X right now. Not to forget Facebook, Twitter. We're going to jump on Telegram, Reddit. We're pretty much everywhere, barring Hinge and Bumble, and rightfully so as well. Right. Jokes apart, let's move on to, of course, JL and KL. It was a joke, guys. It's Monday. Come on. And I don't know why there's mosquitoes just entering proceedings right now. Maybe because we're talking about the mosquitoes of the IPL, because RCB do not like LSG. I do not like LSG, but I will talk about them. Just kidding, because what LSG have in their kitty is fantastic players. And it just makes me think, how the hell will they go about their business, given is Justin Langer and his IPL little taste. I don't know if Nikhil's going to go and get an LSG jersey. I don't think he is. I'm guessing he'll be back in the comfortable yellow. But as you can see over here, the LSG list of retained players and the released players. They have, of course, let go of someone like Jaydev Unadkat, Daniel Sams, and the other names speak for themselves, but they've retained that core. We're talking about KLs, your De Koks, Purans, they're still there. The Stoynises, your Ravi Bishnois, they will all play a big part in this franchise, not just next year, but I'm guessing for the next 2-3 years, unless there is weird things that we've seen. Right. What about LSG? Many people are, of course, going to get into the comments as well. So please keep your comments coming through. Nurulax saying last but not least, LSG right now. I'll tell you why they were last. It's not like because of my personal hate or Akshay's hate or all of that. It's purely because that particular depiction we put out with LSG having just 13 crores, 13.15 to be precise, in their kitty. So Nikhil, tell me your LSG 11 first and foremost. And does Devdutt Padikkal feature in your 11?
Yeah, he does, because I think, again, debatable that spot with others. So that's how this is how the 11 goes. Rahul Quinton open. DDP is your guy who gets in if there's an early wicket. If not, then you send Puran, then you send Badoni, then you send Stoinis, then you send Krunal Pandya. So that is the batting, slightly higher if you want to say for Krunal Pandya spot, but again, they can use the impact player better. Then the bowling, I think Bishnoi had a great season. I hope he continues to have one. Yash Thakur had a brilliant start. Mohsin Khan definitely starts for me. So you have 5 bowling option there: Bishnoi, Thakur, Khan, and Wood or Naveen May. You can pick and choose as per the conditions. So in my starting 11 itself, there are 6 bowling options, and you can use all of them. And in my starting 11, there are what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decent batting options. You add impact player ka 8वां. So there are the features, because I think this is the best time to give him a good role. LSG also struggled with their number 3. तो role de do, rakho, and take whoever it takes. Just honest advice to whoever is listening. Just take KL Rahul somewhere. Just open the screw nuts and ask him to just be KL Rahul. Forget about everything else. Forget about being who you are, being the captain, being this and that. Just forget. Be yourself. You are good enough. Unless you are going to bat in the middle order, then again you still know what to do. I think KL just needs to back his instincts to take over, because Maybe he can play in the middle order role so that he can play for India also. But it's a call that you have to take now and stick with it. Yeah. So yeah, something similar to what Akhil says.
100%. Just before I get Akshay's thoughts on Lucknow Super Giants, Nikhil being cheeky saying Nikhil had 4 jerseys, so I guess LSG also he has. No.
No.
Rangarajan, Nix, what is your 4th IPL team jersey?
Yeah, fourth. I said na Gujarat Titans is what I need to get. I have an older version which I could not wear. So Gujarat Titans कहा जाएगा चौथा.
Okay, fair enough. Ashutosh Bajpai is still contributing names for different teams, and then he's being questioned by, I think, one of the guys in the comments saying, Amit going on a question, Ashutosh saying, Ashutosh Bhai, you keep mentioning mediocre players. I love the banter as well over
नहीं
there.
नहीं. See, Mehdi and Ashwin together, they can do a couple of runouts as a non-striker, and I would really love it.
Oh, 100%. And Zampa is there. Not to forget that as well.
Yes, Zampa, exactly.
LSG, I should feel go for Omar Zai. Let's take a look at that squad again, Akshay, because it makes sense of it. When you look at LSG generally, where do you get vibes that they could win the competition, let alone do anything else?
I mean, win the competition a bit too early. Let's wait for the auction to happen. To be honest, the Padikkal trade is probably the most bizarre trade of the season for me. Probably, I'm trying to think if there was anything more bizarre. I don't think so. Because Padikkal outside the power play is yet to show any progress, barring that season with RCB, where again he did struggle post power play. It's not like with RCB was comfortable scoring runs post the power play. On top of that, he particularly struggled scoring against spin post power play. And now he'll be expected to play at an Ekana stadium that is supposedly spin friendly. So I'm not sure what the logic is, barring the fact that Padikkal and Rahul actually share a great rapport. Padikkal considers Rahul to be his mentor. So that, again, these are all mental things that we can't really quantify. So barring that, I don't see any positive out of Padikkal batting at number 3 for them. The one thing, the one way I can see this play out is if they are willing to bench De Kock and Mayers, bat Padikkal at 3. Open with Padikkal and Rahul, bat someone like a Stoinis at 3, and then based on situation, maybe Hooda, Puran, Krunal Pandya, Ayush Baduni, all of them based on situation, they can probably look at it and go back and forth. But I'm not sure if that, again, is going to happen. So, again, the Padikkal trade is just absolutely bizarre.
What about the whole Mark Wood retention bit, right? Because people in the comments also might jump onto this with Mark Wood being a great, exceptional bowler, but it's about his availability. And it's also about just releasing a little bit more cash in the bank before the auction. Maybe, do you think they kept him because Avish is now gone? So they just wanted to kind of, keep one fast out and up bowler. I'm not saying Avish is the quickest in the world, but they have Naveen Ulak as the other pacer in the squad. Do you think Mark Wood could have been released?
No, I don't think so. And talking about availability, guys, again, bhai, wo hum nahi hai. Their teams, they have chats. वो मार्कवुड से बात करेंगे, पता करेंगे कि भाई आईपीएल आएंगे कि नहीं.
Okay, fine. So who do you think will be an ideal choice to replace someone like Avesh? Do you think they'll splurge on someone like Karthik Tyagi, but they don't have the money?
Yash Thakur did well last year as well. I don't think they need to search for options. I mean, replacements for Avesh. Mohsin Khan they'll also be hoping that he'll come back fit and raring to go. So they have decent pace options already in the armory. So again, talking about their 11, the way I'm looking at it, I don't think De Kock will be benched. Not after the kind of World Cup he had, and now that he's retired.
But just on De Kock, why does Ayush keep on going on to say, can they trade someone like De Kock purely for the cash or purely because
I've been screaming on top of my voice since the last IPL that De Kock should be traded, and even now De Kock going to Kolkata solved so many of both the team's problems. If Kolkata gets De Kock, their overseas top order keeper batter is sorted. Gurbaz and De Kock to open, and then that sort of a core in the middle order, bro, their batting is sorted. Someone just call Gigi and tell him Gigi's also been a part of LSG. You never know. Maybe they're still thinking about this. 100% agree with Ayush. KKR is the only team who should be looking for De Kock right now. No one else. But if LSG doesn't trade him, right now their 11 looks something like this. It'll be KL, De Kock, 1 down DDP, 2 down Stoinis, 3 down Badoni, 4 down Pandya, 5 down Puran. 6 and 7 is where I've kept vacancies. They have Gautam, but I don't think he's a short first 11 player for them. So 6 and 7 is vacant. That is number 8 and number 9 is vacant. Number 10 is Markwood. Number 11 is Ravi Bishnoi. So they have to get 2 all-rounders, one preferably a batting all-rounder and the other a bowling all-rounder. If they get 2 bowling all-rounders, that also works. In terms of bowling options in the 11, they have Pandya, they have Stoinis, they have Wood, they have Bishnoi. Not sure if this is good enough. So they would want some X factor options further, like preferably an off spinner again to begin with. An off spinning all rounder would be a great fit. I'm trying to think. I can't think of off spinning all rounders off the top of my head. Mehdi Hassan Mirazi aa raha because Ashutosh
Shahrukh Khan.
शाहरुख खान yeah, but पैसे नहीं है 13 करोड़ में तो शाहरुख नहीं आ रहे भाई. So they'll probably again they'll have to go the money ball way. They'll have to look for budget picks. They'll have to be a lot more conservative in terms of their spends. Shardul Thakur would be a decent fit for them, more than decent fit to be honest. His cross seamers, his cutters, his ability to just get the ball to skid and do sort of mysterious things would have been perfect for a surface like the Ekana. We've seen Mark would do exactly the same thing last year. Shardul would have been a perfect fit, but
what
again,
about Kyle Mayers? What about Kyle Mayers?
I don't see him playing. Like, where will he play? Not with DDP coming in, which is why his retention also is a bit of a surprise. But he can maybe they're holding on to him because you never know, injuries could play a role. Yudhvir Singh Charak, that's another name I forgot. He got injured after playing the first 2 games. Tall guy, hit the deck really hard. Was very impressed with what I saw of him. Proper high arm action. Another guy.
I remember this name because we were making a Fun 11 in office, and if you guys know, you know. And he, of course, featured in that. By the way, Santosh Sharma saying no one is thinking about Yash Dayal in any team after conceding those 5 sixes. I mean, it's life.
No, he will get buyback. He'll get buyback. Don't worry.
I really hope RCB goes for Yash Dayal. I really hope. Yash Dayal is a fantastic bowler. Fantastic bowler. Avnish, please don't go by one game. He was a fantastic bowler in 2022. And by the way,
maybe 100%. Look, at the end of the day, Stuart Broad got hit for 6 sixes, and he's an Ashes legend. So anything can happen in the game of cricket. 100%. Arjit Ghosh also contributing, saying QDK to KKR. This is what I'm trying to tell yesterday. QDK, Puran, KL, Myers, Padikar, Tumi.
आप yesterday बोल रहे हो, मैं साल से बोल रहा हूँ भाई, साल भर से मैं उठा के watch along से अभी if it happens I'm willing to search, go through all of our watch alongs and come back and tell you where I said that. But Yash Dayal, by the way, RCB was the penultimate bidder. He went for 3 crores to Gujarat Titans. RCB bid till 2.9. Fantastic option. Don't go by one game, guys. Yash Dayal is a fantastic option. I'm more than happy to see him come to RCB, to be honest. But yeah, with LSG, Shardul Thakur could have been an option, but I don't see him coming in. Yudhvir Singh Charak also can bat, so that also adds some value. So number 9 pe wo bhi aa sakta hai. Raj Angad Bava, come to think of it, another pace bowling all-rounder, so you never know. He could also help them. Could be that 3rd or 4th pacer for them in the lineup. Add some batting value lower down the order. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Ashutosh Bajpai going on to say Maharaj for LSG. Good shouts. Love your comments and love your energy, all you guys. Paras Arora as well. Going on to say one of QDK Mayer's open can't depend, just one to fail entire season. And Neil, you've had some good comments coming through, so keep them coming through and subscribe. True. Please tell everyone to subscribe, man. All you guys watch our content bloody not subscribing. Hit that subscribe button right now because there's lots more coming on cricket.com indeed. Are there any trades that could still happen? Essentially, 100%. Yes.
12th December is the final date.
Yeah, so till pretty much another 14 days we're talking. There could be more deals going through. Santosh Sharma saying after all these trades, releases and retentions at the end of December 19th, every team management will say that it was perfect squad and satisfied. 100%. Speaking of particular background staff members of IPL teams, we're planning to get Sandeep Raju, who's the Gujarat Titans analyst, on the show next week. We wanted to get him for this one, but he was just kind of swamped with work. But we can probably pick his mind about how teams head up to those auctions and what they exactly look forward to. I mean, it's looking great on TV, but it's also lots of pressure on that auction table. You have to make decisive decisions at that point in time. So it'll be definitely good. Good shout out from Vikas as well. 38,700. That's the number that I wanted to see. So brilliant. High five to the rest of my team watching this, and Nix and Akshay, because MNL episode 18, and we're really picking it up in terms of gathering steam on this particular platform. And we're building a community because Archana Pandey, I'm guessing you're a new supporter of the channel. RCB, please subscribe and like. Kushagra, Priyam as well. Harshal can be good and Lucknow Pichi, good, 100%. Kushagra, please subscribe because I've not seen you comment before, so I'm guessing you're new. Please subscribe, would mean a lot. And Ravi Teja saying Ashutosh Bajpai is a good shot. You never know with regards to that. CS can go for Harshal Patel saying Vijay Raghav and L. I'm guessing you're a new person in the chat as well.
Lucknow can also.
Or Lucknow can also for sure. All right. Guys, before we move on to the best of the rest, because Monday Night Live has the best of the rest, and we'll talk about the newsletter, which of course happens every once in a week. And we'll of course have Akshay's quiz as well in just a bit. So, look, just to recap, it's been an absolute fascinating time reviewing and previewing, in certain senses, every team before the auction. And 100 people watching this right now, please like. And we've, of course, shown you the final depiction with regards to the IPL chat of the day. All 10 teams done and dusted. And we will probably do a watch along on the 19th of December as well, 100%, to just get you guys live in your thoughts more than us having our say on the video. Right, let's talk about the best of the rest segment then. And Vicky boy, hopefully you got your time codes out, because this is when we move on to best of the rest. Right, best of the rest is basically where we kind of talk about all the other things making noise in the world of cricket in the week which has gone by. Now, I know the IPL has dominated the headlines, and rightly so, and hence the large part of the show was IPL related. But when we can talk about other talking points, obviously India, Australia hit us straight away, because we're going to be doing the watch along tomorrow. Just FYI, Tuesday, the 30-20 International, India could really seal the series in Guwahati. So join us at 7 p.m. tomorrow. We'll talk about how good Rinku Singh has been. Of course, Raj Gaikwad getting amongst the runs. And not to forget, all the other talking points such as Yashasvi Jaiswal, Mukesh, and lots more in that chat. But right here, right now, where is that week letter or newsletter, as it's always known? I want to share it because these boys do a really good job in terms of all the written content, and I'll just present it to you guys right now for all you guys watching, because it is a cricket.com feature. It is a weekly feature, and as you can see over here, it is something that we'll all get into right here. So we spoke about the IPL. You can figure out this article, how we go forward, because we show you the best of the pictures, the tweets, everything that you'd want to see. And like I said, Australia, Tour of India, the chat will definitely be happening in that watch along tomorrow. So we'll just skip that bit. But props to Rinku and props to all the guys delivering India another win in the series so far. What else is happening in the cricketing world? Well. The ICC had its board meeting Tuesday last week and introduced 2 new changes in cricket. Now get this. The ICC will now use a stop clock between overs to regulate the pace of play. A penalty of 5 runs will also be imposed on the bowling side if they fail thrice during an innings to begin the new over within 1 minute of completion of the over. Now, the more important rule, or it depends how you guys gauge it, the ICC also approved the new rule which bans any player who transitioned from a male into a female after having gone through any form of male puberty. And that's where you see the example of this particular player here. I'm referring to Danielle McAgee, the first transgender woman to play international cricket. So props to her in that community, 100%. But there is, of course, light at the end of the tunnel for the rest. Then we move to the Southern Hemisphere with regards to what Harmanpreet Kaur has been doing with regards to just her T20 exploits. But she attained yet another record to her name by featuring in the list of 100 prestigious women for 2023 announced by the BBC. So well done, and up the core 100%. All the other headline grabbers are there. There's more cricket to follow on cricket.com with regards to Bangladesh, New Zealand. It is the first time I think Bangladesh is playing or hosting New Zealand in a test series after 10 years. So it'll be points to grab. Remember, Bangladesh and New Zealand haven't really played any game in terms of the WTC this cycle. So it'll kick off their campaign, and it'll be interesting to see how they go. Guys, what has really caught your eye with regards to this week? I know the IPL, and I know lots of talk about this, Nikhil Popat, Uganda's men's team defeating Zimbabwe. Talk to me about that. And I'm sure you would have had a tweet too about this.
Yeah, which was following it live. And again, it's a good series qualifiers. I think they've had a good start in terms of almost through with Namibia, who have been excellent, and again, rightly so. A lot of people coming through there in terms of Smith, Erasmus, Freiling. Piquet France played today and picked up a wicket. So good things, those qualifiers, they have changed the way in terms of regional qualifiers. So that is something to definitely keep an eye on. And it's Zimbabwe will soon try and figure out, okay, by Sikandar Raza can't do everything. Even today, he had to come out and open the batting for them. So that's where reinforcements are needed. But let's see, they've also not used people well in Mabuta and others. But again, that's a debate for another watch along, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. And upwards and onwards for African cricket. We talk about the Asia
Yeah.
Cup, but they should really consider having an Africa Cup, given South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Uganda now, the good old lost Kenya, of course, which we put a classics episode about. And speaking of Uganda, Vikas, who's listening to this, will remember those Uganda cricket fans who we got on the cricket fan cams on Ahmedabad. So, look, even their fans are kind of growing into the sport. What are the other things to quickly wrap up best of the rest in terms of this week's MNL? Pakistan spin bowling all-rounder Imad Wasim has announced his retirement. So that's something to, of course, just keep in mind, because the next time we see Pakistan play T20 international cricket, I don't know will be when, but we might not see this man ply straight for them anymore. And finally, the ICC World Cup 2023 broke all viewership records, whether it was in Stadia or TV. I don't know how much these data or digits were fudged, but we'll believe it 100%. A total of, as you can see, over, I don't even know how to say that number, 1 billion and 250,000. I mean, 12 million and 50,000, sorry. But basically, lots of positives from the World Cup. The only negative is that India didn't win it. So, unfortunately for us, nothing is apart from that with regards. But like I said, lots to like in terms of the weekly newsletter on cricket.com. Remember, newsletters is there to, of course, be loved on the app as well. So download the cricket.com app. And what are you guys waiting for? Check out our website, because all the boys who are not normally seen in the videos, I'm talking about Anirudh, Akash, Shubh, Basab, they put in a lot of effort in terms of the written content. So give them some love, and of course, like their articles as well, as much as you like our videos. Right, time for Akshay to have his say in terms of his quiz, and I'm talking about the Howzzat edition. So what is it this week? Let's play that sting first, if I can find it, and proceed with the quiz. Remember, Akshay also does the game nights every Wednesday, so show him some love on that channel of cricket.com. It's available, all the episodes so far. Akshay, what have you prepared this week for the Howzzat quiz? But before that, last week, reveal the answers, my friend, because I got it right on the flight, or did I? I was close.
You were close, yeah. So yeah, basically we had a list of 10 names, and you guys had to just connect the following names: George Bailey, Jeff Moss, Merv Hughes, Nikhil Chopra, Peter Hanscom, Salil Ankola, Sean Abott, Stuart Clark, Trevor Laughlin, and Xavier Doherty. Like a very weird set of names. I don't think Salil Ankola, Sean Abott, and Peter Hanscom are the kind of names you'd usually see in the same list. Yeah, it was just a list of 10 names, so a fairly elite list, if I may add. The answer was very simple. It's a list of those players who've played just one World Cup game for India and Australia. We were just coming from the India-Australia final, so thought it would be, sort of relevant and sort of cheeky that way. Pranav Anand got it almost right. He mentioned that list of players who've played one game. Well, that's a list of 91 players, Pranav. I was looking for India and Australia because it was just 10 players there. Ajinkya Hamdere again got it right. His fourth win, and if I'm not wrong, his second win in a row. So congratulations, Ajinkya, on that win. Just get in touch with us for your vouchers. And guys, once again, previous MNL winners who haven't claimed their prizes yet, their vouchers yet, do get in touch with us on Twitter. DM us on Twitter with the relevant information, screenshots of when you won it and all of that. We'll verify it and have the vouchers sent to you ASAP. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, time for today's Howzzat and today's question. Once again, very simple. I thought instead of having a close-ended question, let's have an open-ended question this time around. So yeah, this time around, name 5 overseas players traded to Mumbai Indians. That's it. Once again, guys, make sure you're commenting on the main comment section, not the live chat. If you're going to comment in the live chat section, then you're only going to help others. Whoever is the first person to comment on the main comment section will win the voucher. So make sure you do that. Very simple. Once again, name 5 overseas players who've been traded to Mumbai Indians. So Shubh Agarwal, of course, Akshay's questions are tougher than IT question papers. Bhai, game nights mein to aa jao yaar. The one time I would have loved to have had Shubh. Bhai sahab, Delhi chale gaye, batao. But yeah, anyway, Shubh, you can also, by the way, the giveaway is open to you as well. If you feel you know the names, have at it. Just make sure you comment on the main comment section. Let's see if you get the voucher. If you get your hands on the voucher. Yeah, that's it. That's it from this edition's Howzzat. Avnish, I'm
I
guessing
think in the history of Howzzat, I think this is one of the most straightforward questions, but it has, of course, that little element of trickiness. You think you might be able to name it easily, but you're struggling with one itself. I might know one or two, but I don't want to spill the beans. Nix, are you stumped again?
No, I have 3 names, looking for 2 more. तो देखते, थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा.
Private chat पे सब लगाओ बस.
हाँ, वही.
Santosh Urpa basically saying 4 prizes across all contests are pending outside MNL2, which I mean, we'll get in touch with you, Santosh. You are a man who, of course.
Santosh, please get in touch with us. We won't be getting in touch with you. Do get in touch with us with the screenshots. We'll ensure that the prizes and the giveaways are done. Neil meanwhile asks us, where is the main comment section? The main comment section is activated once the stream ends. So you'll have to wait for the stream to end, post which the video will go out, and then you can comment on the main comment section like any other YouTube video. So you'll have to wait for the stream to end, guys. Make sure you comment there. So yeah, have at it once again. We're looking forward to seeing more new names this time around. I'm just hoping we get a new winner as well. We've seen quite a few of our regular winners just keep getting those vouchers again and again. So yeah, will always be nice to see some new names get that.
And look, the vouchers will actually put you in good stead, especially with regards to just having $500 more in your Amazon kitty. So then if you're buying something, it could be, I don't know, a bottle of water that you want to take for work, you want to buy an electric trimmer, you're going to get $500 off. Whatever the hell you want, you can, of course, get that. And also...
Your choices. Why are those your choices?
All the people...
No.
If you guys are
show him
watching,
the bottle color.
Sponsors Feminel, please. I know I'm bearing a lot
Wait,
of
wait, Avnish. Akshay, please show the bottle color that you have, please.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. What color is it?
Green.
There you go. In support, I guess. In support.
Well done. By the way, Vikas cheekily saying, sure, if you get next off, you get it right, approved by you with regards to that. So sure, Bivin, you can have your say in the comments and all the other beautiful people right now. Right, so what a Monday night live it has been. It's been a memorable one, to say the least, because it's been historic from a certain record sense. Great viewership, great energy in the comments, great points by Nikhil and Akshay, of course, and just love this kind of community building on cricket.com. That's what we hope for in the next week, MNL as well. Like I said, special chat and interview with Sandeep Raju, who's a Gujarat Titans analyst. He's been part of RCB before, so there'll be lots of questions coming his way. And he seems like a sweet chap, so we'll be able to pick and probe his mind about a few more IPL stories indeed. The boys are sneezing their way away, and I think it's time to end this stream because the soups and the, I don't know, the hot water therapy can just start right after this live, and so can the comments. So, of course, for the Howzzat people, please comment and have a chance to win some sort of say on a Monday night. Thank you so much, all you people, for, of course, making this such a great show. Nikhil, brilliant with you and changing all your jerseys whenever you had to. Love that edition of it. And Akshay as well. God bless you with your running nose, man. We've got Cameron Green, all as well. Isala.
Yeno namdalapa mukso stream na sako.
Isala green namde, guru. Green namde.
You know, there are holidays where I haven't changed so much in 2 days. जितना मैंने आज 1-3 घंटे में change किया.
100%. And let's see how it really goes. I know essentially this title also has been kind of cheekily well thought, and we've catered to every team. But please go check out this video if you're just joining us in terms of going back and seeing the whole thing. We've spoken about 10 teams and lots more. Until the next time, subscribe if you're new, like this particular video, and share and comment and tell people about cricket.com because it'll really make us feel warm and fuzzy inside. 100%. We'll see you later on. Tomorrow's a watch along and tomorrow's an episode of Classics. Every day there's something new at cricket.com, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Okay, fine. I will end the show. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.